Chapter 10:20. If Hong Wu-Dao really wanted to kill Yi Hao, they would not be able to stop him. However, this would offend all the alchemy sects present. Therefore, when they saw that Hong Wu-Dao had changed his mind about killing Yi Hao, the elders were naturally filled with joy. Master, the chief deacons are pleading for mercy today. I think we should be magnanimous and give him some face. Since Hong Wu-Dao wanted a way out, he, as his disciple, naturally had to give him a way out. Hong Wu-Dao pretended to think for a moment and looked at Elder Hu and the others with a troubled expression. I'll give you some face and not kill this bastard. What? Hong Wu-Dao is really scared. Hong Wu-Dao is not going to kill Yi Hao. He is not going to take revenge for such a big grudge. Many onlookers were surprised when they heard Hong Wu-Dao's words. After all, Hong Wu-Dao had come with great force. Now that he was looking for a way out, many people despised him. Hong Wu-Dao was not stupid. Naturally, he also felt that the atmosphere around him was not right. To be honest, not to mention others, Hong Wu-Dao was also embarrassed. After all, he was the fifth supreme elder of the Black Sword sect. He was only here to take revenge. But now, he was forced to the point where he could not even take revenge. Was there anything more humiliating than this in the world? If today's matter was spread out, the world would definitely laugh at him, Hong Wu-Dao, for being a coward. Hong Wu-Dao's eyes flashed coldly. He would not allow himself to become a joke. Therefore, even if he did not kill Yi Hao, he would not let Yi Hao have an easy time. It's fine if I don't kill Yi Hao. However, if I kill the rest, you won't care anymore, right? Hong Wu-Dao said in a deep voice and looked coldly at Elder Hu and the others. Hong Wu-Dao wanted to save face. He did not kill Yi Hao. In his opinion, he had already given these alchemists enough face. As the saying went, face was given to each other. He had already given face to Elder Hu and the others. Logically speaking, if Elder Hu and the others were sensible, they should also give him face. Otherwise, how could they let him off the stage? Elder Hu and the others hesitated after hearing Hong Wu-Dao's words. Obviously, they could also see that Hong Wu-Dao had already crossed Hong Wu-Dao's bottom line by sparing Yi Hao's life. If they continued to block Hong Wu-Dao and prevent him from killing others, Hong Wu-Dao would explode directly. At that time, he might not be able to control Hong Wu-Dao, but they had already stepped in, and only Yi Hao was saved. It didn't seem like a big deal. You dog, consider yourself lucky today. I won't kill you first. However, I'm going to kill your subordinates. I'm going to let you watch your subordinates die with your own eyes. You won't be able to do anything about it. You have to experience that kind of pain. Haha. Hong Wu-Dao obviously didn't care about the hesitation of Elder Hu and the others. After he finished speaking, he laughed loudly. Although Hong Wu-Dao was laughing, the crowd could feel chills running down their spines. Old dog, do you really think you're capable? You're just like that grandson of yours, thinking too highly of yourself. Even if you don't kill me, do you think you can kill me? Yi Hao said directly after hearing Hong Wu-Dao's words. His imposing manner exploded in the crowd. When the rest of the crowd heard Yi Hao's words, all of them instantly widened their eyes. Obviously, they didn't expect Yi Hao to be so arrogant. At this time, he still dared to provoke Hong Wu-Dao. If he wasn't courting death, then what was? Could it be that this kid is crazy? I guess he only dares to say such words because he has Elder Hu and the others. Is he really not afraid of angering Hong Wu-Dao and killing him directly? Look, the murderous intent surging out from Hong Wu-Dao is too terrifying. This Yi Hao is really courting death. I wonder if Hong Wu-Dao can hold himself back this time. The onlookers started to discuss after hearing Yi Hao's words. Obviously, in everyone's opinion, Yi Hao dared to be so arrogant because he had Elder Hu and the others to rely on. If he really angered Hong Wu-Dao, Yi Hao would definitely die. Therefore, at this moment, most people thought that Yi Hao was courting death. At this moment, Old Hu and the others all frowned because they couldn't understand. Yi Hao wasn't a brainless person, right? It wasn't easy for them to scare Hong Wu-Dao into not attacking him, but Yi Hao still dared to provoke Hong Wu-Dao. If he really angered Hong Wu-Dao, they wouldn't be able to stop him. Your Majesty, why don't you leave with those alchemists first? That's right. At most, we'll fight him to the death. Your Majesty will avenge us. Your Majesty, it's not a wise choice to stay here. Your Majesty, where there's life, there's hope. As long as you're alive, Tianyuan won't be destroyed. We'll rise again one day. Seeing Yi Hao provoking Hong Wudao, the officials hurriedly tried to dissuade him. After all, they couldn't see any hope of defeating Hong Wudao. Therefore, it was better to save Yi Hao's life than this. Your Majesty, why don't you leave with these alchemists? If you stay here, your sacrifice will be in vain. Besides, the officials are right. Where there's life, there's hope. You have to live well. It won't be too late to kill Hong Wudao and avenge us when you rise up. Emperor Tanyuan also tried to dissuade him after the officials tried to dissuade him. There's no need to wait until the future to kill him. I could do it today. Yi Hao smiled confidently. What? Your Majesty, are you scared out of your wits? Your Majesty actually said that he can kill Hong Wudao today. Your Majesty probably doesn't know how powerful Hong Wudao is. Apart from Guan Yu and the others, many officials were shocked when they heard Yi Hao's words. Then, they looked at Yi Hao worriedly. After all, in their opinion, the most powerful people in Tianyuan Kingdom were Guan Yu and the others. However, it was obvious that even if Guan Yu and the others joined forces, they wouldn't be Hong Wudao's match. Therefore, although Yi Hao was the emperor and they were loyal to Yi Hao, they didn't quite believe Yi Hao's words. After all, they hadn't seen anyone who was on par with Hong Wudao until now. Your Majesty, I don't think we're a match for that old man, Guan Yu said as he looked at Yi Hao worriedly. Although he wanted to kill Hong Wudao, he didn't have the strength to do so. Chapter 10:21. You don't have to do anything to kill him. Seeing the worried faces of Guan Yu and the other officials, as well as the looks of disbelief on their faces, Yi Hao waved his hand and said, "We don't have to do anything. Could it be that His Majesty still has experts under him?" Hearing Yi Hao's words, Guan Yu and the others hurriedly asked. "I didn't," Yi Hao said honestly. Everyone was confused when they saw Yi Hao's honest answer. They didn't understand what Yi Hao was trying to do. Killing Hong Wudao without the help of other experts was no longer a fantasy. It was simply a dream. If Yi Hao had said that there was an expert present, then it was very possible that Hong Wudao had been killed. But without experts, how could he kill Hong Wudao? Could he rely on his eyes or the air? Although Yi Hao's voice was soft, it was heard by many people from other forces. When they heard Yi Hao's words, they immediately mocked him loudly. "Ha ha, this kid is too good at bragging. This is the biggest joke I've heard in my life. This kid can't even keep his life, but he still dares to say that he can kill Hong Wudao today. The way I see it, this brat is either scared silly or has gone mad. Can't this kid see it? If it weren't for those alchemy grandmasters, he would have been killed by Hong Wudao. He wouldn't have the chance to talk nonsense. Today I finally understand what it means to not die if you don't court death. This kid is the epitome of courting death. Since he said so, I don't believe that Hong Wudao will spare his life. If that's the case, Hong Wudao is just an undeserved reputation. Elder Hu, what should we do now? Why is this brat so blind today? Does he really want to die? I'm also curious about what's going on. No matter how stupid this kid is, he shouldn't be stupid to this extent. Look at Hong Wudao's face. It's so ugly now. This is bad. He has completely infuriated Hong Wudao. I don't think it's going to work, even if we continue to suppress him. I don't understand either. What the hell is that brat doing?" Hearing Yi Hao's words, Old Hu and the other alchemists started discussing anxiously. This was because they had already noticed that Hong Wudao's face had turned livid as Yi Hao spoke. At this moment, Hong Wudao was incomparably furious. Originally, he had planned to let Yi Hao go. Not killing Yi Hao was an extremely difficult decision for him, because he knew that if he let Yi Hao go, he would definitely be ridiculed by countless people. But because of those pill sects, because he didn't want to bring trouble to the Black Sword sect, he decided to endure it himself. But he never expected that Yi Hao would still dare to provoke him. He was looking down on him. If he continued to remain indifferent and let Yi Hao off, he would never be able to do it. Not to mention Hong Wudao, even the elders behind Hong Wudao were furious and indignant at this moment. Obviously, in their opinion, Hong Wudao was provoked and they couldn't accept it. It's not that I don't want to give you face, but this bastard is courting death. Hong Wudao's body was filled with killing intent as he glanced at Old Hu and the others. This bastard should be regretting it now. He's really courting death. Who's to blame? If I were Hong Wudao, I wouldn't be able to stand such provocation either. But that brat is really arrogant. He's really not afraid of death. He didn't even want to live. He even threatened to kill Hong Wudao. Kill Hong Wudao? I think Hong Wudao is the one who should kill him. Arrogance and courting death have to pay the price. But today, he can see the scene of the emperor being killed. It's our fortune. Hearing Hong Wudao's words, the onlookers from the other forces knew that Hong Wudao was going to make a move. At this moment, they all began to discuss. However, their tone was filled with ridicule and disdain for Yi Hao. Obviously, all of them thought highly of Hong Wudao and did not think highly of Yi Hao. Grand Elder, hearing Hong Wudao's words, Old Hu looked anxious and wanted to stop Hong Wudao. Kill him. I want Tianyuan Kingdom to be bathed in blood. No one can stop me. If you have the ability, fight with me. Hong Wudao's voice exploded between heaven and earth, setting off an unparalleled power. It was also filled with killing intent, and his tone was also very firm. Obviously, Hong Wudao had made up his mind to kill Yi Hao. This time, after Hong Wudao finished speaking, a huge saber that was almost 1 meter long suddenly appeared in his hand. The huge saber was also emitting a strong killing intent and bloody aura. Obviously, this saber was extraordinary. Many people had died under it. Break the city gate. Hong Wudao roared and waved the huge saber in his hand. The surrounding spiritual qi was instantly attracted by Hong Wudao. A huge saber shadow that was dozens of meters long instantly appeared on the saber. Gulp! At this moment, countless people could not help but swallow their saliva when they saw Hong Wudao's huge power. Hong Wudao is indeed a saber user. He uses the huge saber to perfection. Heavens! The might of this slash is simply too powerful. I feel that I have no chance of resisting it at all. I think the entire Tianyuan Palace's city wall will be destroyed in an instant. Yi Hao must be regretting now. Regret? Hong Wudao is really angry now. What's the use of regretting? Therefore, all the onlookers were deeply impressed by Hong Wudao's slash. What should we do now? Seeing this scene, Old Hu and the others did not expect Hong Wudao to attack directly. Although they had a high status, it was because they were alchemists. Their alchemists were indeed good. However, in terms of strength, they were not worth mentioning when compared to Hong Wudao. After all, not to mention Hong Wudao, even Yi Hao's subordinates were no match for Hong Wudao. Otherwise, they would not have been captured by Yi Hao to make elixirs. Therefore, they were very anxious at this moment. However, they did not have the strength to stop Hong Wudao, which made them feel helpless. Your Majesty, back off. You and I swear to protect His Majesty. Seeing the power of Hong Wudao's saber, Guan Yu was also frightened. He estimated that he would be seriously injured even if he did not die under Hong Wudao's saber. This was the gap between their realms. This was the gap between their forces. It's over. It's over. Tianyuan Kingdom is completely over. His Majesty is going to die. How can we survive? This is too powerful. Should we run for our lives? Chapter 10:22. Don't panic. Seeing Hong Wudao's attack, Yi Hao didn't panic at all. He was still as calm as ever. Seeing Yi Hao's reaction, the crowd couldn't help but wonder if Yi Hao was really scared out of his wits. How could he remain so calm in such a situation? Although Guan Yu and the others were anxious, after hearing Yi Hao's words, they hesitated for a moment and gave up on attacking. They were behind Yi Hao. It's moving. It's moving. Countless people saw the huge sword in Hong Wudao's hand and the 10-meter-long shadow on the blade. They were so nervous that their hearts almost jumped out of their mouths. At this moment, Hong Wudao's sword was slashing towards the walls of the Tianyuan palace. The soldiers and officials on the walls couldn't help but tremble when they saw this scene. They swallowed their saliva nervously. If it wasn't for Yi Hao, they would have run away already. They might even be forced to kneel on the ground by the powerful aura. Bastard, let's see how arrogant you can be. Hong Wudao sneered in his heart. He believed that his attack would definitely shatter the walls of the Tianyuan palace. 100 changing heavenly gate formation, activate. Seeing Hong Wudao's attack was about to land, Yi Hao suddenly spoke. 100 changing heavenly gate formation? What's that? Hearing Yi Hao's words, everyone was stunned. Then, their faces turned gloomy. Obviously, they didn't know what Yi Hao was talking about. Obviously, no one thought about the formation. After all, with the strength of the Tianyuan kingdom, even if they had a formation, how could they withstand the attack of a rank 8 Atman body cultivator? If the Tianyuan kingdom really had such a powerful formation, the Tianyuan kingdom wouldn't have fallen to such a state. Moreover, even the 4 kingdoms didn't have a formation that could withstand a rank 8 Atman body cultivator's attack, let alone the Tianyuan kingdom. Therefore, no one thought that the Tianyuan kingdom had such a powerful formation. Naturally, they wouldn't think about the formation. Hong Wudao was the same. He didn't take Yi Hao's words seriously because he was confident in his strength. He didn't believe that Yi Hao had any tricks that could stop him. Boom! As soon as Yi Hao finished speaking, an explosion resounded throughout the heavens and the earth. Between the heavens and earth, countless amounts of spiritual energy surged towards the Sky Origin Royal City. It was as if the Sky Origin Royal City had turned into a gigantic sucker that was sucking in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. That's right. What he absorbed was only spiritual energy, not the slightest bit of martial power. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. What's going on? What is going on? There's so many powerful forces. I feel that my martial arts power is nothing in front of it. Could it be that this is spiritual energy? Oh my God, how can there be so much spiritual energy? Countless people exclaimed as they looked at the strange phenomenon in front of them. Could it be that the Tianyuan kingdom really has a formation? Why haven't I heard of it before? I didn't expect the Tianyuan kingdom to be so well hidden. I'm afraid that the Tianyuan kingdom wouldn't expose this formation unless it was a crisis. I just don't know what level this formation is. Can it withstand Hong Wudao's attack? I don't think so. After all, Hong Wudao is a level 8 Atman body realm cultivator. If this formation can withstand Hong Wudao's attack, then it must be very powerful. The Tianyuan kingdom is too well hidden. The onlookers couldn't help but analyze whether the formation could withstand Hong Wudao's attack. Most people still thought that Hong Wudao was stronger. After all, the fact that the Tianyuan kingdom had a formation was enough to shock them. If it could withstand Hong Wudao's attack, then the formation was too powerful. In their opinion, the Tianyuan kingdom shouldn't have such a powerful formation. Where did this formation come from? I've been an official of the Tianyuan kingdom for many years, but I didn't expect the royal city to have a formation, and it looks like the formation is very powerful. The hundreds of officials behind Yi Hao also had looks of astonishment on their faces. Not to mention the officials, even the Emperor of Heaven Yuan was shocked. At the same time, his heart was filled with confusion. No matter what, he used to be the Emperor Tianyuan, and the Tianyuan royal city belonged to his family. But he didn't know that there was a formation in the Tianyuan royal city. Furthermore, this spirit formation appeared to be extremely powerful. Seeing how Yi Hao activated the formation so skillfully, it was obvious that Yi Hao had known about the existence of the formation. Emperor Tianyuan couldn't help but wonder who was the descendant of the Tianyuan royal family. He didn't believe that the formation was set up recently, because the formation in front of him was so powerful that it looked extraordinary. To set up such a powerful formation couldn't have been done in a short time. Moreover, even if it was done in a timely manner, he couldn't have not heard about it. Also, he didn't hear Yi Hao mention that he had a formation master under him. The formation master who set up such a formation must be very powerful, but he didn't hear about it at all. Such a person would be treated as a VIP no matter which force he went to. Why would he help the Tianyuan royal family set up a formation? Therefore, Emperor Tianyuan was very curious about the mysterious formation in front of him. Bang! At this moment, Hong Wudao's attack landed on the walls of the Tianyuan royal palace. A ray of light appeared on the walls. Hong Wudao's terrifying attack only caused a ripple when it landed on the light, but the city wall was not damaged in the slightest. When everyone saw this scene, they were all stunned. What kind of formation is this? Even such a powerful attack can't damage it. Oh my God, the Tianyuan royal family has such a powerful formation, and they didn't reveal anything about it. This is an attack from a level 8 Atman body, and it can't even damage the Tianyuan royal palace. No wonder Yi Hao is so fearless. It's because of this formation. I didn't expect the Tianyuan royal family to have such a powerful trump card. At this moment, all the onlookers who saw this scene could only exclaim in surprise. They thought that they were lucky enough to see a level 8 Atman body in action. But now, they saw a formation that could withstand an attack from a level 8 Atman body. It was an eye-opener for them. Some of the onlookers hadn't even seen a normal formation before, let alone such a powerful one. How is this possible? Hong Wudao's eyes widened in shock when he saw that his attack didn't cause any damage. Obviously, Hong Wudao couldn't accept that the Tianyuan royal family had such a powerful formation. Chapter 1023. This time, Hong Wudao directly activated his strongest attack. Obviously, he was shocked that his attack did not cause any damage to the Tianyuan royal city. Hong Wudao did not believe that the Tianyuan royal city had an array that could block his attack. It's really powerful. Hong Wudao's martial technique attack this time is definitely several times stronger than before. There's actually such a powerful martial technique. No, it can't be called a martial technique. It should be called a spiritual technique. In the ancient demon realm, the attacks used by martial artists were also called martial techniques. However, as long as one reached the level of a martial artist, there was no need to use martial techniques. Instead, one could use spiritual techniques that were more powerful than martial techniques. Obviously, Hong Wudao was using spiritual techniques at this moment. The reason why Hong Wudao was able to make his attack several times stronger than the first time was entirely due to the spiritual technique. Do you think Hong Wudao can break the city wall this time? It's hard to say. After all, we don't know what level the array is at. However, Hong Wudao's attack this time is so much stronger than before. It might really be possible to break the city wall. Just as the crowd was discussing, Hong Wudao's attack landed on the city wall again. Boom! It was a loud noise. Everyone fixed their eyes on the city wall. They realized that Hong Wudao's attack was extremely loud and powerful. However, it was still unable to cause any damage to the city wall. There were still some ripples on the city wall. The impact of Hong Wudao's attack on the city wall was no different from before. This array is really powerful. I really don't understand why the Tianyuan royal city has such a powerful array. It seems that with this array, Hong Wudao's chances of killing Yi Hao are slim. Originally, everyone thought that Hong Wudao wanted to kill Yi Hao. It would be a piece of cake for him to do so. However, Yi Hao did not move at all. He stood there, and Hong Wudao could not hurt Yi Hao at all. Not to mention hurting Yi Hao. He could not even get close to Yi Hao. At this moment, Hong Wudao's expression changed again and again. Obviously, the power of the array was beyond his expectation. Fifth Supreme Elder, this array looks very powerful. What should we do now? Fifth Supreme Elder, you can't even move the array. I guess even if we attack, it will be the same. I really didn't expect this shitty country to have such a powerful array. The group of elders that Hong Wudao had brought along were all looking at Hong Wudao anxiously at this moment. These people were also shocked by Tian Yuan's imperial palace. Phew! Elder Hu and the others were relieved when they saw that Hong Wudao could not do anything to Yi Hao. I was wondering why he dared to tease Hong Wudao. We have been in the Tianyuan royal city for so many years, and we know nothing about it. Let's not talk about that. The strength of this formation is definitely beyond our expectations. Look at Hong Wudao. He can't do anything to that kid. I guess he's going to explode from anger. A group of alchemists looked at Hong Wudao, who was under the palace walls. The murderous intent on his body was so strong that no one dared to go near him. At this moment, Elder Hu looked at Hong Wudao with a worried expression. "What's wrong, Elder Hu? Isn't it good that Hong Wudao can't break the array? Why does Elder Hu look so worried?" The worry on Elder Hu's face was naturally seen by everyone. Everyone hurriedly asked, "I'm worried that Hong Wudao will force Yi Hao to come out." Elder Hu heard everyone's question and expressed his concern. Elder Hu had some understanding of Hong Wudao. Although he did not know Hong Wudao's name had been passed down by many people. Therefore, he had sent people to investigate such a person. According to his understanding, Hong Wudao was a ruthless person who would do anything to achieve his goal. Therefore, in his opinion, Hong Wudao would be angry if he could not break the city walls. He did not know what he would do. Force him to do something? It can't be. He can't break the city walls. It's useless even if he is forced to do something. Don't tell me this Hong Wudao is going to attack us. All the alchemists were worried as they discussed. When they heard that Hong Wudao was going to attack them, everyone immediately fell into silence. Seeing everyone fall into silence and worry, Elder Hu immediately said, "Everyone, don't worry. Since Hong Wudao is willing to let Yi Hao go because of us, it means that he is still afraid of the sect behind us. Therefore, he will not attack us." "He won't attack us? Then who will he attack?" When the alchemists heard Elder Hu's words, they were relieved and immediately asked, "Don't forget Yi Hao's identity." Elder Hu said, "You mean Hong Wudao will attack these people and then force Yi Hao to come out? Damn, Hong Wudao is too ruthless if he does that. As the emperor, Yi Hao naturally can abandon his people and watch them be killed." After hearing Elder Hu's words, everyone immediately understood and started to worry about Yi Hao again. Although Yi Hao was fine in the palace, if Hong Wudao attacked the people outside the palace, they didn't believe that Yi Hao's array formation would be able to protect these people. At that time, Yi Hao would definitely not be able to watch these people of the Tianyuan kingdom being killed by Hong Wudao. Because if that was the case, Yi Hao's prestige as the emperor would definitely be destroyed. In a serious situation, the people of the Tianyuan kingdom would be disillusioned. At that time, the Tianyuan kingdom would be destroyed without other forces destroying it. Elder Hu and the alchemists were filled with worry. "Bastard, do you think that I can't do anything to you if you hide inside?" Hong Wudao looked at Yi Hao angrily and said coldly. Hong Wudao suddenly glanced at the disciples and elders behind him and said, "Listen up. Kill all the people of the Tianyuan kingdom. I want to see how long he can hide inside." What? Hong Wudao is angry out of humiliation. He wants to vent his anger on the people of the Tianyuan kingdom. His purpose is not to vent his anger. He wants to come out and compete with Yi Hao. Ruthless, really ruthless. I didn't expect Hong Wudao to be so ruthless. Many of the onlookers were surprised when they heard Hong Wudao's words. At the same time, a hint of fear appeared in their eyes. Chapter 1024. After all, Yi Hao was the one who had a grudge against Hong Wudao, not these innocent people. However, Hong Wudao did not care about these innocent people. In his eyes, this group of innocent commoners were just ants that were only fit to vent his anger. If it were not for the sake of forcing Yi Hao out, in Hong Wudao's eyes, this group of ants was worthless in his eyes. They could not even enter his eyes. They seem to want to attack us. Your Majesty, save us. Your Majesty, we don't want to die. When the people of Tianyuan Royal City heard that Hong Wudao wanted to kill them, they immediately screamed in fear. Scream, scream. The louder the better. Ha ha! Hong Wudao did not show any pity when he heard the screams of the people of Tianyuan Kingdom. Instead, he laughed excitedly. Kill! As soon as Hong Wudao said that, the elders and disciples behind him were about to charge into the crowd. Your Majesty, what should we do? "Your Majesty, let's go out and save these people. Your Majesty, we can't let this group of people kill our people in front of our eyes." Seeing that Hong Wudao was going to attack the innocent people, Guan Yu and the others immediately said anxiously, "No, Your Majesty, you can't lose control. Your Majesty is the foundation of the country. As long as Your Majesty exists, the country will exist. Hong Wudao is obviously trying to force Your Majesty to go out. If Your Majesty goes out, you will fall into Hong Wudao's trap." Emperor Tianyuan said hurriedly, "That's right, Your Majesty. King Xiaoyao is right. Your Majesty, King Xiaoyao is right. You must stay calm. You can't go out." Although Emperor Tianyuan had abdicated, he could not treat them as ordinary people. Therefore, Yi Hao gave Emperor Tianyuan the title of King Xiaoyao. He enjoyed the highest treatment of king. However, Emperor Tianyuan did not want to have any power and became King Xiaoyao. "Your Majesty, you don't have to go out. Let's go out. Your Majesty, please agree. Your Majesty, if you don't agree, it will be too late." Guan Yu and the others said anxiously when they saw Hong Wudao's men approaching the crowd. Although these were all powerhouses who had been on the battlefield and were used to seeing life and death, they naturally couldn't bear to see the people of their own country being killed. Of course, they knew that if they came out of the palace to face Hong Wudao, they might not be able to return alive. However, it was absolutely impossible for them to hide here and drag out an ignoble existence while watching their people being killed. So at this moment, they were all looking at Yi Hao pleadingly. Emperor Tianyuan looked at the expressions of Guan Yu and the others and naturally knew what they were thinking. He was the emperor of the Tianyuan kingdom, and these were his people. He was more anxious than anyone else. But for the sake of the big picture, he could only bear with the pain and persuade Yi Hao. In his opinion, as long as Yi Hao was around, the Tianyuan kingdom would not be destroyed. Although they had been humiliated today, there was still hope for them to rise again in the future. If Yi Hao went out, or if these generals went out, no matter who died, it would be a huge blow to the strength of the Tianyuan kingdom. However, Guan Yu, Emperor Tianyuan, and the others were looking at Yi Hao anxiously, only to find that Yi Hao was still calm and composed. Everyone was very confused. They didn't understand why Yi Hao could still be so calm at this moment. Of course, Guan Yu and the others weren't the only ones who noticed Yi Hao's calmness. Standing outside the palace, many onlookers from other forces had already noticed this scene. Even Hong Wudao and the others had been looking at Yi Hao from the corner of their eyes. Hong Wudao had been waiting for Yi Hao to come out of the array, but Yi Hao's calmness made him uneasy. "Son of a bitch, I don't believe you can keep doing this." Hong Wudao snorted and looked at his elders and disciples. At this moment, they were still a few steps away from killing the crowd. "Help, Your Majesty! Your Majesty, don't abandon us. We are your people, Your Majesty. You have to save us." Seeing the people of the Black Sword sect rushing towards them, the people of the Tianyuan kingdom frantically retreated and frantically cried for help. Because as far as they were concerned, only Yi Hao could save their lives. After all, they were the people of the Tianyuan kingdom. When they were at their most helpless, they would naturally think of the emperor. "Shout as loud as you can. Get that son of a bitch to come out." Hong Wudao sneered when he heard the people's cries for help. "It's over. The people of the Tianyuan kingdom won't be able to escape today." Seeing that the gates of the Tianyuan palace are tightly shut, Yi Hao probably won't make a move. After all, coming out is courting death. It's reasonable that Yi Hao won't come out. Humph! Wasn't he very powerful just now? Why doesn't he even dare to come out now? Outside the Tianyuan palace, the spectators from the other forces sighed and laughed. Just as the people of the Black Sword sect were about to rush into the crowd, Yi Hao suddenly spoke. 100 changing gates formation, change. Just then, the spiritual energy in the Tianyuan palace suddenly surged wildly. Countless people realized that the world was spinning. Even the scenery in front of them was constantly changing. It was either real or illusory. Everyone felt dizzy. After a while, everyone came back to their senses. When they looked at the people of the Tianyuan kingdom, they were shocked. because all the people were in a panic, but they were all fine. Not a single person was injured or killed. On the other hand, the people of the Black Sword sect had all disappeared. Were they? What the hell happened? At this moment, everyone's hearts were filled with confusion. Just then, someone suddenly pointed below the Tianyuan Palace. Look over there. Everyone looked below the Tianyuan Palace. Their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. They saw that the people of the Black Sword sect, who had disappeared, were now fighting under the palace. However, they could only see them killing each other. They couldn't hear any sound of fighting. What the hell is going on? Why are the people of the Black Sword sect there? Why are they killing each other? Oh my God! Can someone tell me what the hell is going on? Have the people of the Black Sword sect gone mad? Look at how they're killing each other. It's as if they're fighting for their lives. The surrounding crowd looked at the scene in front of them. Other than shock, they were all left with puzzlement. The citizens of the Tianyuan kingdom were dumbfounded as they looked at the scene before them. Chapter 10:25. What did you do to them? You piece of sh**t. Hong Wudao's voice exploded above Sky, Origin Royal City. Hong Wudao's eyes were bloodshot. His right hand was gripping his blade tightly, while his left hand was so angry that his nails were digging into his flesh. He didn't understand what had happened. Why would his men suddenly kill each other? Could he have done all of this? Everyone looked at Yi Hao in shock when they heard Hong Wudao's angry roar. Yi Hao was still calm and composed. He smiled faintly as he looked down at the Black Sword sect's men who were killing each other. All of you stop right now, Hong Wudao shouted as he rushed towards the Black Sword sect's men. However, the Black Sword sect's men didn't seem to hear Hong Wudao's words. They continued to kill each other. These elders and disciples, who usually obeyed him in every way, actually ignored him. Hong Wudao was both furious and anxious. He didn't understand what Yi Hao had done to these people. This matter definitely had something to do with Yi Hao. If Yi Hao hadn't done it, this group of people wouldn't have ended up like this. He had clearly heard Yi Hao say something just now, and then they had ended up like this. Looks like I can only knock this group of people out. Hong Wudao felt his heart ache as he watched his men kill each other. However, he immediately thought of an idea. After all, after playing for a while, the injuries on the disciple's body would lessen. Hong Wudao rushed towards an elder and reached out his hand to knock him out. Back off, Yi Hao suddenly said, just as Hong Wudao's hand was about to hit the elder's neck. Is Yi Hao crazy? Why would Hong Wudao listen to him if he told him to back off? Someone from the other factions couldn't help but mock Yi Hao when he heard him. However, he saw a shocking scene in the next second. Hong Wudao's body was actually backing off. He couldn't help but feel that this was a slap to the face. Is Hong Wudao crazy? Why is he so obedient? This person couldn't help but exclaim. However, Hong Wudao, who had appeared right in front of him, had heard everything he had said. You're courting death. Hearing this, Hong Wudao shouted angrily. The power in his body crashed into this person. This person did not even have the chance to struggle before he turned into a bloody mist. Seeing this, the onlookers around Hong Wudao immediately retreated in panic. Clearly, they were very afraid of Hong Wudao. What the hell is going on? Hong Wudao roared in his heart. He was already at the foot of the city wall, and he didn't even feel his body move. But in the next second, he appeared here. Hong Wudao looked towards the city wall and realized that the disciples and elders were still killing each other. I don't believe it. Hong Wudao roared in his heart and continued to walk down the city wall. Right at this moment, Yi Hao spoke once more. I want you to stand there and watch this show until the end. Will Hong Wudao still be so obedient? Everyone heard Yi Hao's majestic voice. If they had heard Yi Hao's words at the beginning, they would have snorted and laughed at him. However, they saw with their own eyes that when Yi Hao asked Hong Wudao to back off, Hong Wudao really did so. Therefore, at this moment, everyone didn't say anything. Instead, they watched Hong Wudao carefully. Everyone was surprised to find that Hong Wudao was actually walking on the spot. He didn't move forward at all. Everyone was stunned. They didn't understand what was going on. Strange. Why is this road so long? It seems like I can't reach the end. Hong Wudao looked in front of him in shock. He was already working very hard to walk down the city wall. However, for some reason, the city wall was indeed getting farther and farther at his eyes. However, when he saw the disciples who were still killing each other, Hong Wudao was extremely anxious. However, he could only work hard to move forward. In the eyes of outsiders, Hong Wudao was still walking on the spot. He didn't move forward at all. What's going on? At this moment, everyone's hearts were filled with confusion. One should know that Hong Wudao's appearance of walking on the spot was extremely funny. If not for the fact that everyone was afraid of angering Hong Wudao, they would definitely laugh out loud. At this moment, everyone was not only confused but also shocked. Hong Wudao was even more anxious. There was even some cold sweat on his forehead. What's going on? Hong Wudao was screaming in his heart. This was because he also felt that something was wrong. Could it be a formation? Hong Wudao suddenly guessed. However, he didn't dare to be sure. This was because if it was a formation, it would be too terrifying. After all, even he couldn't detect the formation at all. How powerful would it be? Saber splits mountains and rivers. Hong Wudao was forced into a corner. He had no choice but to roar. He took out his weapon and slashed at the air in front of him. Boom! Hong Wudao's slash landed on the air in front of him. However, in an instant, it seemed to be met with a huge resistance. It couldn't move forward at all. There really is a formation. How is this possible? Hong Wudao confirmed his judgment. However, he was also shocked. This was because he originally thought that Yi Hao's formation only covered the entire imperial palace. That was already big enough. However, only now did he realize that he had underestimated Yi Hao, underestimated the formation. He never expected that this formation would cover the entire Sky Origin Imperial City. Although he didn't want to believe it, it was the truth. Thinking of this, Hong Wudao couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. This also proved that he had entered the formation from the moment he stepped into Sky Origin Imperial City. However, he didn't notice it at all. Hong Wudao, how does it feel to watch your own people being killed? Seeing Hong Wudao's expression change again and again, Yi Hao suddenly opened his mouth to ask, "You want me to watch my people being slaughtered by you? I'll let you experience what it feels like to be unable to stop your people from killing each other." At this moment, Yi Hao thought to himself. It had to be said that Yi Hao's method of giving Hong Wudao a taste of his own medicine was very effective. "Bastard, I'm going to kill you. Remove the formation if you can." Hong Wudao shouted angrily when he heard Yi Hao's words. "All right, I'll do as you wish." Yi Hao suddenly waved his hand. Hong Wudao was stunned. He didn't expect Yi Hao to be in such pain. Then he took a few tentative steps and realized that he was really moving. The distance between him and Yi Hao was also a little closer. It wasn't like before, when the path in front of him was endless. Chapter 10:26. Hong Wudao saw that the group of disciples and elders had stopped fighting at this moment. Their faces were filled with shock and bewilderment. "Bastard, he really removed the array. Ha ha. Since you're asking for it, don't blame me." Seeing that Yi Hao had really removed the array, Hong Wudao sneered. Hong Wudao looked at Yi Hao and was filled with murderous intent. He slashed at Yi Hao. "Go to hell." At that moment, Yi Hao, who was on the city wall, had a look of panic on his face. The officials behind him also started to flee. "Bastard, go to hell." Hong Wudao saw the expression on Yi Hao's face and was very satisfied. He slashed Yi Hao in half. The entire city wall began to crumble. Seeing Yi Hao's body buried by the crumbling city wall, Hong Wudao was delighted. "Ha ha, grandson, did you see that? Grandpa has avenged you." "Grandpa, save me, I don't want to die." At this moment, a voice was heard from behind Hong Wudao. "Qing! Qing Yun!" Hearing the voice behind him, Hong Wudao's body trembled. Even when he spoke, his lips were trembling. Hong Wudao turned around in disbelief. However, in the next second, his eyes were filled with anger. Hong Qingyun's clothes were tattered, and he was being held by a group of men in black. At this moment, Hong Qingyun's body was covered in blood. Seeing Hong Qingyun in this state, Hong Wudao's heart ached. Then his eyes seemed to spit fire. "How dare you hurt my grandson? Die!" Hong Wudao roared and charged at the men in black. It didn't take long for all the black-clothed men to be killed. "Qingyun, are you okay? You're not dead." Hong Wudao ran to Hong Qingyun's side and helped him up. "Grandpa, I'm not dead." Hong Qingyun's eyes flashed coldly. "No, Qingyun is dead. You're not Qingyun." Hong Wudao suddenly roared and killed Hong Qingyun with one slash. At this moment, the onlookers in the group chat were all stunned. Why did Hong Wudao go crazy all of a sudden? He actually killed all his elders and disciples. What on earth is he doing? He can't have been angered by Yi Hao, right? Who can tell me what's going on? I've always heard that Hong Wudao is a ferocious person, but I didn't expect him to be so ferocious when killing his own people. At this moment, everyone was looking at Hong Wudao, who was standing under the city wall. Beneath Hong Wudao's feet, there were corpses everywhere. They were the elders and disciples of the Black Sword sect. Looking at the saber in Hong Wudao's hand, which was still dripping with blood, it was not difficult to guess that these people had all died in Hong Wudao's hands. "Elder Hu, what's going on? Why did this Hong Wudao suddenly go crazy? This is all too strange." A group of alchemists looked at the scene in shock. At this moment, they could not help but look at Elder Hu to seek an answer. Looking at the puzzled faces of the alchemists, Elder Hu replied with a solemn face, "If I'm not wrong, Hong Wudao has fallen into a formation." Fallen into a formation? Hearing Elder Hu's words, everyone's faces were filled with shock and disbelief. Could it be that not only the Tianyuan Imperial Palace has a formation, but also the Tianyuan Imperial City? How many formations are there in the Tianyuan Kingdom? And how powerful is this formation that can make Hong Wudao act like this? This can't be true. Seeing the crowd of alchemists so shocked, Old Hu didn't feel the slightest bit surprised because his heart was also incomparably shocked. Because there was something that he did not say. He estimated that if he said it out loud, these alchemists would be even more shocked. That is, the formation in front of them was definitely not two formations, but a single formation that directly covered the entire Tianyuan Imperial City. Just the thought of it was enough to make one shudder. This meant that as long as one stepped into the Tianyuan Imperial City, they would enter the formation and their lives would be in the hands of Yi Hao. Most importantly, if he had not seen Hong Wudao's reaction and analyzed that there was a formation in the Tianyuan Imperial City, he would not have noticed the formation at all. Even now it was the same. He had tried very hard to find the formation, but he could not find any trace of it. One must know that even though he was an alchemist, he still had some experience with arrays. Although it was not very powerful, even some of the weaker formations had nowhere to hide in front of him. Even if it was a powerful formation, even if he did not know how to break it, he should be able to detect it. But now, even if he tried hard to find it, he could not find any trace of the formation, let alone detect it. One could imagine how powerful this formation was. It was so powerful that it was beyond his knowledge. At this moment, Elder Hu could not help but feel lucky that he did not become an enemy of Yi Hao. Otherwise, it would be too scary. After all, as long as one was in the Tianyuan Imperial City, they would be under Yi Hao's control. They could not escape even if they wanted to, let alone resist. Elder Hu did not think that he was as strong as Hong Wudao. Was his identity? Elder Hu could not help but sneak a glance at Yi Hao. This was because he could always see something unexpected from Yi Hao. Just like this time, he had thought that Yi Hao would not be able to escape this time. Who would have thought that Yi Hao would be so confident and even create such a powerful formation? He did not believe that this formation originally belonged to the Tianyuan Kingdom. If it really belonged to the Tianyuan Kingdom would not have been defeated so easily with such a powerful formation. If not for Yi Hao's appearance, the Tianyuan Kingdom would have been destroyed by the Broken Kingdom. Moreover, if the Tianyuan Kingdom had such a powerful formation, they would not have been able to hide it so well that other forces would not have heard of it. Most importantly, when Hong Wudao attacked the Tianyuan Imperial Palace, Emperor Tianyuan was also shocked when he saw the defensive formation that appeared in the Imperial Palace. Therefore, This also proved that Emperor Tianyuan did not know of the existence of this formation. Elder Hu knew that this formation was definitely created by Yi Hao. However, Elder Hu did not think that this formation was refined by Yi Hao. After all, Yi Hao's alchemy was already so powerful. If he could also refine such a powerful formation, then it could not be said that Yi Hao was a genius or a monster. He could only be described as a freak. Therefore, Elder Hu guessed that there might be a powerful formation master behind Yi Hao. This could also explain why this formation would suddenly appear in the Tianyuan Imperial City. Chapter 10:27. Your Majesty, what's going on? Why are they killing each other? Besides, why did this Hong Wudao suddenly kill everyone on his side? Your Majesty, did you do all of this? Could it be because of the array formation? Guan Yu, Sun Shangxiang, and the others were all shocked as they looked at Yi Hao and asked curiously. Emperor Tianyuan didn't say anything, but he was also looking at Yi Hao curiously. After all, he was also confused about when a formation appeared in Tianyuan Royal City and the strange scene in front of him. That's right, this is the 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation. The most important thing about this formation is that it's unpredictable. Once it's activated, it's under my control. As for why they're killing each other, it's because illusions are also unpredictable. Looking at the curious faces of the officials, Yi Hao explained, 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation. Unpredictable. Illusions. The officials kept repeating Yi Hao's words. I didn't expect it to really be a formation. But this formation can even subdue a level 8 Atman body cultivator. It's too powerful. I was wondering why Hong Wudao would go crazy and kill his own men. So it's because he's trapped in an illusion. Haha, I was wondering why Your Majesty wasn't worried about Hong Wudao at all. So you already have a way to deal with him. With the 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation, our Tianyuan Royal City is impregnable. Let's see what Hong Wudao can do to us. The officials discussed excitedly. Looking at the reaction of the officials, Yi Hao didn't mention the weakness of the 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation. After all, only by hiding the weakness of the 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation could the formation become unpredictable and instill fear in the hearts of the enemies. The strength of the 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation was only to trap the enemies, not to kill them. Let alone level 8 Atman body cultivators. Even level 10 Atman body cultivators will be trapped by the 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation. However, in terms of killing enemies, the 100-changing Heavenly Gates formation only had an illusory realm that could make enemies kill each other. There was no other way to kill enemies. Take the current Hong Wudao, for example. He was the only one left in the 100-changing Heavenly Gates formation. The 100-changing Heavenly Gates formation was able to firmly trap him in the formation, but it was unable to kill him. After all, he could no longer confuse others to attack Hong Wudao. The people of the Black Sword sect had all been killed by Hong Wudao. Therefore, the main purpose of the 100 transformation Heavenly Gates formation was to trap the enemy. If they wanted to kill the enemy, they would have to think of other methods. Of course, although the 100 transformation Heavenly Gate formation was very good at trapping people, it was still very powerful. However, it was definitely not invincible. As long as there was an expert who had surpassed the level of Atman body, the 100-changing Heavenly Gates formation would lose its effect. But for now, being able to trap an Atman body level Qi practitioner was already very good. Open. Seeing that Hong Wudao was still spinning around on the spot, Yi Hao suddenly spoke again. Aren't you dead? How are you still alive? Hong Wudao felt the scenery in front of him change. Hong Wudao widened his eyes and looked at Yi Hao on the city wall. Hong Wudao's tone was full of surprise. He clearly just cut Yi Hao in half with one slash and destroyed the city wall, causing the officials to flee in all directions. But in the blink of an eye, it became like this again. The city wall was still intact as before. Yi Hao was still standing on the city wall with a dignified appearance, exuding an imperial aura. The officials were also standing behind Yi Hao as before. However, the initial panic and anger in their eyes had completely disappeared. Instead, They were looking at Yi Hao with admiration. What the hell is going on? Hong Wudao felt that his head was about to explode. The changes back and forth were completely driving him crazy. Hong Wudao, you thought that the person you killed was me. Look at your feet now. Who the hell did you kill? Seeing Hong Wudao's appearance and hearing Hong Wudao's angry roar, Yi Hao spoke with a smile on his face. Hearing Yi Hao's words, Hong Wudao immediately looked down and saw that the people he brought were all lying at his feet. This was done by me. Impossible. Hong Wudao was shocked. Seeing that the people he brought were all lying at his feet, Hong Wudao's heart ached. He couldn't accept that these people were all dead. It was even more difficult for him to accept that these people died in his hands. How is that possible? Look at the wounds on their bodies. Don't tell me you can't recognize them. Could it be that I really killed them? Hong Wudao heard Yi Hao's words and looked at the wounds on the bodies. They did look like they were caused by his attack. This caused his body to tremble violently. It's you. It's you again. Hong Wudao suddenly raised his head. His eyes were burning with anger as he stared at Yi Hao. Don't be mistaken. You killed these people. What does it have to do with me? Yi Hao smiled helplessly. If it wasn't for you, why would I have killed them? The one I killed was clearly you. Hong Wudao said angrily. Thinking back, he was clearly the one who killed Yi Hao. He was clearly the one who killed the group of men in black. However, in the blink of an eye, Yi Hao was fine, but the people who died were all his people. How could he not be angry? Array. I know. This must be another array. Hong Wudao looked at the palace walls and suddenly thought of a possibility. That was, he had fallen into a formation earlier, and the Yi Hao and the black-clothed man he had seen earlier were all illusions created by the formation. The ones he had killed were indeed disciples and elders. It was just that the illusion had changed their appearances so that even he didn't notice it. With Hong Wudao's knowledge, he naturally knew that an array could create an illusion that could confuse a person. However, he had never imagined that there would be a day when he would fall into a formation and fall into an illusion. Furthermore, he had killed all the people he had brought with him. In the beginning, he really didn't expect that the array would have an illusion. Otherwise, he would definitely have controlled himself. Perhaps then, he would have been able to prevent the deaths of the disciples and elders. However, he had to admit that the illusion was too real. Otherwise, he wouldn't have fallen so deep into it without realizing it. At the time, he really thought that he had killed Yi Hao and the group of men in black. After all, he didn't think that it was an illusion from the beginning. He originally thought that the Tianyuan Imperial Palace, having an array, was already very good. He never expected that the Tianyuan Imperial City would also have an array. Furthermore, if he could be confused under such circumstances, what more the group of elders and disciples? At that time, even if he had been able to control himself and not make a move against those elders and disciples would still have made a move against him. Hong Wudao couldn't help but panic when he thought of this. Was he going to die here if he couldn't get his revenge today? He felt indignant. Chapter 10:28. That must be it. That must be it. Hong Wudao thought of a possibility. The more he thought about it, the more he felt it was possible. The formation could only trap people, and it could only use illusions to kill them. That would explain why Yi Hao would use illusions to make them kill each other. If that's the case, as long as I stay calm, the formation can only trap me, but it can't kill me. Hong Wudao was overjoyed at the thought of this. Because he was not afraid of death, but to die in such a place, how could he, the dignified Black Sword Sect's fifth elder, be willing to die? Now that he knew the weakness of the 100-changing Heavenly Gate formation, Hong Wudao was no longer afraid of the formation. Yi Hao, if I'm not wrong, your formation can't kill me. Hong Wudao squinted and said to Yi Hao. Hong Wudao's eyes were fixed on Yi Hao, eager to know the answer. What do you mean? Could it be that Hong Wudao has found a loophole of the formation? From what you've said, Hong Wudao's crazy actions must have something to do with the formation. Doesn't that mean that we are also in the formation without knowing it? This, At this point, the countless spectators from the other forces all had looks of panic on their faces. After all, no matter who it was, they would feel uncomfortable when they heard that they were in someone else's formation. Many people started to look around. You don't have to panic. We have no feud with the Tianyuan kingdom. The new emperor of Tianyuan won't kill us. At this moment, someone suddenly spoke. Hearing this person's words, the countless onlookers relaxed slightly. However, there were 4 people who were curled up and hiding in a corner. Their eyes were filled with fear. These 4 people were none other than the envoys of the 4 kingdoms. The 4 envoys regretted it. They had thought that Hong Wudao had brought so many experts to cause trouble for Yi Hao. Yi Hao would definitely die, so they had gone all out. In order to curry favor with Hong Wudao, they had said all kinds of things against Yi Hao. Who would have thought that the Tianyuan kingdom would have such a powerful formation out of nowhere? As soon as he came up, he killed all the people of the Black Sword sect, except for Hong Wudao. Looking at the corpses on the ground, the 4 of them trembled violently. The 4 of them did not ask for anything else. They just wanted Yi Hao to not see them. 4 envoys, come over here. However, things were always like this. The more you thought about it, the more it would happen. At this moment, Yi Hao's voice directly drilled into their ears. When the 4 of them heard Yi Hao's words, they were so scared that they almost wet their pants in an instant. Your Majesty. The envoy from a Yinsong kingdom didn't dare to meet Yi Hao's gaze. He lowered his head and said with a trembling voice, "The 3 envoys of the tiny ways, the envoys of the 3 of them. 4 envoys, come over quickly. Do you think I'll eat you up?" Yi Hao's attitude was extremely gentle at this moment. The 4 envoys were stunned when they heard Yi Hao's words. They didn't expect Yi Hao's tone and attitude to be so good. It was so good that they couldn't believe it. The 4 of them lifted their heads in surprise and looked at Yi Hao, who was looking at them with a smile. Although the 4 envoys were puzzled, they were less afraid now. They did not dare to disobey Yi Hao's order. They quickly ran over to Yi Hao to show their respect for Yi Hao. Guan Yu and the others were surprised when they saw this. They did not understand why Yi Hao was so nice to the 4 of them. It should be noted that when Hong Wudao had appeared, the 4 envoys had spoken about the Tianyuan kingdom and Yi Hao with great unwillingness. Even now, their anger had yet to subside. If it wasn't for the fact that Yi Hao was present, they would have killed the 4 envoys on the spot. But now that they saw Yi Hao being so nice to the 4 of them, they were puzzled. They looked at Yi Hao in confusion. "Why did your Majesty summon us?" The 4 of them looked at Yi Hao and asked respectfully, "Envoys, there's no need to be so polite." Yi Hao quickly helped them up. The 4 envoys were overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. They had thought that Yi Hao was going to teach them a lesson, but they did not expect Yi Hao to be so nice to them. Could it be because of what we said just now that he has come to his senses? Or does he feel bad for what he did to us before? Or maybe it's because of the power behind us that he does not dare to fall out with us. The 4 envoys looked at each other and had the same thought at the same time. "Mom, God has opened his eyes. I can finally straighten my back in front of this kid. God, please tell me that I'm not dreaming. This kid actually has such a gentle side. He's actually helping me up. Oh my God, this can't be real. It seems like this kid has really come to his senses. No, I'm too excited." The 4 envoys who were helped up by Yi Hao looked at Yi Hao with excitement. After all, they had just come to the Tianyuan kingdom. Before they could even finish showing off, they had already been frightened by Yi Hao's methods. Since then, they were filled with fear of Yi Hao. They did not even dare to look Yi Hao in the eye, let alone straighten their backs in front of Yi Hao. This was because whenever they appeared in front of Yi Hao, they would realize that there was an unnecessary force on Yi Hao. It made them bend their backs, lower their heads, and look like they were subservient. This feeling made them feel very aggrieved and uncomfortable, but there was nothing they could do about it. They had never felt this way in front of their own emperor in their own country. Therefore, even in their dreams, they wanted to straighten their backs in front of Yi Hao. But they never expected that their dreams would come true so quickly. Moreover, after they had criticized the Tianyuan kingdom and Yi Hao did not blame them at all. Instead, he treated them this way. How could they not be excited? Seeing how Yi Hao treated the four envoys, the officials were all envious. After all, it was a great honor to be helped up by His Majesty. Of course, besides being envious, the officials were even more confused. This was because to them, this was not Yi Hao's style at all. Could it be that His Majesty has really changed? Even if he has changed, it can't be so fast. Why does His Majesty need to treat these for trash like this? Chapter 1029. My four envoys, what do you think of the relationship between your countries and my Tianyuan kingdom? How do you feel about me? Yi Hao asked after helping the four of them up. Hearing Yi Hao's question, the four envoys answered without hesitation. The relationship between our two countries is naturally very close. That's right. The relationship between our two countries is as close as a family. Our country and the Tianyuan kingdom have always been on good terms. The relationship between our two countries is like that of brothers. Hearing the words of the four envoys, the officials couldn't help but curse in their hearts. Can you be any more shameless? Don't you have any idea how close the relationship between our two countries is? Previously, you were still saying how the Tianyuan kingdom oppressed you and that you had nothing to do with the Tianyuan kingdom. You even said that the Tianyuan kingdom was unbearable. You even said that we are as close as a family. Don't you feel guilty? Of course, the four envoys wouldn't be interrupted by the officials' thoughts. Their shamelessness was comparable to the city walls. The four envoys were really eloquent when they spoke, and their words flowed like a torrential river. The people couldn't help but sigh. These four envoys were indeed envoys. Their eloquence couldn't be faked. After hearing the words of the four envoys, the crowd really thought that the relationship between the Tianyuan kingdom and the four big countries was very good. Your Majesty is majestic. He is upright and has an extraordinary bearing. He is the embodiment of a true dragon. He loves his people like his own children and is considerate of the people. He is definitely a great emperor. Hearing the words of the four envoys, Yi Hao's expression didn't change much. However, he was slightly stunned. Obviously, he didn't expect the four envoys to be so eloquent. Now it seems that the four of them aren't completely useless. Yi Hao couldn't help but laugh in his heart. If it was someone else, they might have been complacent after being praised by the four envoys. However, Yi Hao didn't have any intention of being complacent. This was because he still remembered the faces of the four envoys when Hong Wudao came. I really didn't expect the relationship between our countries to be so close. I actually have such a great image in your hearts. Jin really wants to hold a banquet to thank the ambassadors. Jin wants to have a few drinks with the ambassadors. Yi Hao pretended to be excited. Your Majesty, you're too polite. The relationship between our countries is just that good. That's right. The relationship between our countries cannot be shaken by others. Whoever dares to shake the relationship between our countries will definitely die. At this moment, all the envoys spoke with excited expressions on their faces. That's right. Our countries should share joys and sorrows, share blessings and hardships, and face our enemies together. Everyone is right. Yi Hao nodded heavily. That's right. We should share blessings and hardships, and face our enemies together. When the four messengers heard Yi Hao's words, they spoke excitedly at the same time. Something doesn't seem right. After the four emissaries finished speaking, they suddenly felt that something was wrong. They immediately looked at Yi Hao, only to find that Yi Hao was looking at them with a smile on his face. This made them feel a little guilty. Since that's the case, I'll leave the enemies below to the four of you. We should share blessings and sorrows, right? That's right. That's a level 8 Atman body cultivator. If we go over, we won't even be able to defeat him. Aren't we courting death if we go over? When they heard Yi Hao's words, the four emissaries felt like crying. Who were the people below? That was the Black Sword sect's 5th Supreme Elder. Let's not talk about whether they were a match for Hong Wudao. If they made a move against Hong Wudao, it would mean that their country was an enemy of the Black Sword sect. They felt that their countries shouldn't have such a powerful array formation like Yi Hao's. Unless their brains were damaged, they wouldn't provoke such a powerful enemy for their countries for no reason. Moreover, Hong Wudao's cultivation was at level 8 Atman body cultivator, while they were only at the Demon Emperor level. They weren't on the same level at all. They didn't doubt that Hong Wudao could kill them as easily as killing an ant. After all, they saw how Hong Wudao killed the Black Sword sect's emissaries. There were hundreds and thousands of them, including some Atman body cultivators, but they were still no match for Hong Wudao. The 4 emissaries couldn't help but regret saying that they would share blessings and misfortunes together. "Don't, Your Majesty. Our cultivation isn't enough. Your Majesty, please spare us. If you let us fight with him, we'll just be courting death." "You can't do this, Your Majesty." The 4 emissaries quickly cried out to Yi Hao, almost kneeling down to beg for mercy. Seeing this scene, the officials behind Yi Hao smiled. At first, they didn't understand why Yi Hao was so nice to the 4 emissaries. It turned out that he had been digging a hole and waiting for the emissaries to jump into it. Looking at the 4 emissaries, the officials couldn't help but feel satisfied. At the same time, they secretly admired Yi Hao. Who would have thought that Yi Hao would lead the 4 emissaries into the hole so easily? Moreover, the 4 emissaries had jumped into it willingly. "Brilliant! Your Majesty, this is a good move. Now, only the 4 emissaries will suffer. Serves them right. Who told them to slander our country and His Majesty like that?" Could it be that you were lying to me when you said that we would share blessings and misfortunes together? Seeing the 4 emissaries begging for mercy, Yi Hao immediately pretended to be angry. Seeing Yi Hao's cold gaze and Yi Hao's angry expression, the 4 emissaries' hearts suddenly trembled. "We don't dare," the 4 emissaries quickly said. "Emissaries, you may leave now." Hearing Yi Hao's words, the 4 emissaries immediately looked at Hong Wudao, who was below the city wall. Seeing the anger in Hong Wudao's eyes and the powerful aura he exuded, the 4 emissaries were almost scared to death. Not to mention fighting Hong Wudao. Even if they were in front of Hong Wudao, it would be a problem if they could still stand. "Your Majesty, when we said that we would share blessings and misfortunes together, we didn't mean that we would fight with Hong Wudao," the emissary of the Yinsong Kingdom said bitterly. He was quickly thinking of a way to deal with Yi Hao. "Oh, I understand now. You mean to support me in terms of material and financial resources and to share blessings and misfortunes together, right? Emissaries, you are really considerate. You know that activating this array consumes a lot of spirit stones, so you want to support me?" Yi Hao looked like he was suddenly enlightened and moved. Hearing Yi Hao's words, the 4 emissaries were stunned. This was another big trap. Chapter 10:30. The 100-changing Sky Gate formation was indeed powerful after it was activated. However, it also consumed a huge amount of resources. Yi Hao would have had to bear the cost of these resources by himself. To be honest, he felt the pinch. However, these 4 envoys had stepped forward. They were like 4 golden pigs that deserved to be slaughtered. Yi Hao would not hold back. The 4 envoys were sweating profusely when they heard Yi Hao's words. They had not expected Yi Hao to be so difficult to deal with. First, he had been friendly to them. Then, they had let down their guard. In the end, he had dug such a huge pit for them to jump into. They finally understood what it meant to be in the king's company was like living with a tiger. This brat is too treacherous, the 4 envoys thought bitterly. After all, Yi Hao had already said so much. They only had 2 choices now. They could either lose their lives or use the spirit stones to buy their lives. They could only blame themselves for saying such things to Yi Hao. Why did they say such things to him? They should have gone through thick and thin together. If they had not said such things, they would not have been cheated. However, they knew that they had been cheated for nothing this time. They were the ones who had slandered Yi Hao and the Tianyuan Kingdom when they saw Hong Wudao coming here. Then, they stood on Hong Wudao's side. They were already secretly glad that Yi Hao hadn't mentioned it yet. Otherwise, their countries would not be able to say anything even if Yi Hao killed them, unless they declared war with the Tianyuan Kingdom. However, if they were to start a war, the amount of resources they would consume would be even greater. Moreover, all the countries were waiting for the Drifting Cloud Kingdom and the Tianyuan Kingdom to declare war. When the time came, they would reap the benefits. Therefore, the 4 envoys had to pay the Spirit Stones if they wanted to save their lives. They had to pay the Spirit Stones whether they wanted to or not. Your Majesty is right. We should share the Spirit Stones consumed by the formation equally. The envoy from the Yinsong Kingdom gritted his teeth and said, "What do you guys think?" Yihao nodded in satisfaction when he saw how tactful the envoy from the Yinsong Kingdom was. Then, he looked at the remaining 3 envoys. "That's right, this should be shared equally. My Daming Kingdom naturally agrees. Since all of you want to share equally, how can my Yufeng Kingdom be left out of this?" The remaining 3 envoys had no choice but to grit their teeth and reply. After all, they had no choice but to agree. As expected of sharing blessings and suffering together, the support of the 4 emissaries has truly moved us. Yihao had a moved expression. "Little guys, if you want to laugh at my Tianyuan Kingdom, this daddy will make you bleed. Let's see if you can still laugh then." Yihao was in a good mood when he saw that someone would reimburse him for the Spirit Stones he had spent. On the other hand, the 4 envoys were on the verge of tears. But in front of Yihao, they had to force a smile on their faces as if they were supposed to do what they were supposed to do. As for the officials behind Yihao, when they saw the 4 envoys' smiles that were uglier than crying, they all tried their best not to laugh out loud. Meanwhile, Emperor Tianyuan was looking at Yihao with admiration. For the emperor to be able to do what Yihao did, there was no one else. This was because he would never be able to cheat others like this. At first, he had been very curious about how Yihao had managed to cheat the 4 kingdoms of 750,000 sets of equipment in the main hall. Now, his horizons had really been broadened. For emissaries, Hong Wudao said that I can't kill him. What do you think? Yihao suddenly smiled and looked at the 4 emissaries. Upon hearing Yihao's words, the 4 emissaries immediately tensed up and looked at Yihao warily. In their minds, they were quickly searching for a trap in Yihao's words. After all, they were really afraid of being cheated by Yihao, so they had no choice but to be careful. After all, they had been cheated twice by Yihao, which had cost them almost a year's worth of income. "We don't know about this." The 4 emissaries thought for a moment. For the sake of safety, they directly said that they didn't know. However, the 4 emissaries didn't believe that Yihao could kill Hong Wudao. After all, they weren't stupid. If Yihao could kill Hong Wudao, he would have done so long ago. Why would he leave Hong Wudao alive until now? Moreover, Hong Wudao could say that Yihao couldn't kill him. He must have found the weakness of the array. However, the 4 emissaries didn't dare to say it out loud. After all, if they angered Yihao, they might be in trouble again. "It seems that the 4 of you don't believe that I can kill Hong Wudao," Yihao said when he saw their expressions. The 4 emissaries didn't say anything when they heard Yihao's words. Clearly, they agreed with Yihao's words. "Why don't the 4 emissaries make a bet with me?" Yihao looked at the 4 emissaries and said, "Bet? What bet?" The 4 emissaries were confused when they heard Yihao mention a bet. "Let's bet on whether I can kill Hong Wudao." Yihao pointed at Hong Wudao. The 4 emissaries were shocked when they heard Yihao's words. They were a little moved, but they didn't rush to agree. Seeing that the 4 emissaries were silent and cautious, Yihao continued, "I can kill Hong Wudao without using the array." "What? Kill Hong Wudao without using the array? How is that possible?" The 4 emissaries were shocked when they heard Yihao's words. This guy is too arrogant. I don't believe that the Tianyuan Kingdom has someone who can compare to Hong Wudao. If the Tianyuan Kingdom has someone who can compare to Hong Wudao, why would they expose the existence of the array? The 4 emissaries were full of disdain for Yihao's words. They obviously didn't believe that Yihao's subordinates could compare to Hong Wudao. Furthermore, in their opinion, the reason why Yihao was able to kill so many of Hong Wudao's people and imprison Hong Wudao here was all due to the formation. If it wasn't for the array, the entire Tianyuan Kingdom would have been destroyed by Hong Wudao. Even if it was Yihao, he would probably also be dismembered into 10,000 pieces by Hong Wudao. Now Yi Hao dared to say that he could kill Hong Wudao without using the array. In their opinion, he was simply boasting shamelessly. The four emissaries were full of disdain for Yi Hao's words, but they didn't show it, nor did they agree. After all, they still didn't know what Yi Hao was going to do, how they were going to bet, and what they were going to bet on. I'll bet with you. If I don't use the array to kill Hong Wudao, the spiritual stones you give me will be doubled. If I can't kill Hong Wudao, I'll return all the spiritual stones you gave me. What do you think? Chapter 10:31. It was not that the four messengers were easily agitated. In their eyes, this was a bet that they would definitely win. Originally, they were still upset that Yi Hao had cheated them of their spiritual stones. They did not expect Yi Hao to return it so quickly. In the eyes of the four messengers, it was impossible for Yi Hao to kill Hong Wudao without the help of the array. They did not believe that Tianyuan Kingdom could find an expert above level 8 Atman body realm. The four messengers looked at Yi Hao nervously, as if they were afraid that Yi Hao would return. My words are like gold. Yi Hao laughed in his heart when he saw that the four messengers had taken the bait. However, he said with a serious expression, "All right, let's make the bet." Hearing Yi Hao's words, the four messengers quickly agreed. "Yi Hao, you've gone too far." At this moment, Hong Wudao, who was at the foot of the palace wall, was about to explode in anger. He did not expect Yi Hao and the messengers of the four kingdoms to ignore him and even use him to make a bet. How could he accept this? If it were not for the array, he would definitely tear Yi Hao into pieces. "Didn't you say that I can't kill you?" Hearing Hong Wudao's angry roar, Yi Hao smiled and took out the demonic crystal cannon. The huge demonic crystal cannon appeared directly on the palace wall. There were countless runes engraved on it. The black muzzle of the cannon made people feel oppressed. What's that? After seeing the magic crystal cannons appear, everyone looked at the magic crystal cannons in confusion, because none of them had seen such a thing before. Not to mention seeing it, they had never even heard of it. Haha. Yi Hao, you're not thinking of killing me with this, are you? You're too naive. Although Hong Wudao had not seen the demonic crystal cannon before, he did not believe that the demonic crystal cannon could kill him, because in his eyes, the demonic crystal cannon should be a weapon. Since it was a weapon, it should be used by someone. The way he saw it, no matter how powerful a weapon was, even if it was a divine artifact, it would still require an expert to unleash its might. He believed that no one in the Tianyuan Kingdom was a match for him. Therefore, even if the thing in front of him was a god tool, he was not afraid at all. "Your Majesty, are we going to use this 5 blades of killing Hong? What weapon is this? Will it work? Why haven't I heard of it before, much less seen it before?" At this moment, all the ministers were looking at the magic crystal cannons doubtfully, doubting the power of the magic crystal cannons. The ministers could not help but wonder if Yi Hao was trying to embarrass the four dynasties and was purposely losing to the envoys of the four dynasties. At this moment, the envoys of the four great kingdoms all looked at each other. They could all see the smiles in each other's eyes. Although they didn't know what the magical crystal cannon was, they didn't think that it could kill Hong Wudao. In their hearts, victory was already within their grasp. What the hell is this new emperor of Tianyuan doing? That looks like a hollow iron pillar. How can it kill people? He wants to use this 5 blades of killing Hong Wudao? Isn't he dreaming? Does he think that we are fools? Is he trying to fool us? The onlookers from the other forces were looking at the magical crystal cannons with disdain as well. After all, they had never seen the magic crystal cannon before. They did not believe that such a big black tube could kill a rank 8 Atman body cultivator. If there was such a powerful thing, it should have been famous in the ancient demon realm. How could they not have heard of it before? So as far as they were concerned, Yi Hao was definitely putting on an act. A bunch of ignorant fools. Today, I'll let you all broaden your horizons. Yi Hao realized that everyone was full of disdain for his demonic crystal cannon. Even though the officials didn't show any disdain, the disbelief in their eyes revealed their thoughts. One had to know that his demonic crystal cannon was capable of killing a level 10 Atman body cultivator. And Hong Wudao was only a rank 8 Atman body cultivator. He was doomed to die under the magic crystal cannon. Yi Hao started to fill the magic crystal cannon with spiritual stones. One had to know that the usage of the magical crystal cannons naturally didn't consume cannonballs, but spirit stones. This was also why Yi Hao wanted to scam the 4 great kingdoms in advance. The demonic crystal cannons consumed a huge amount of spirit stones. Yi Hao's actions were simply inconceivable in everyone's eyes. Strange. Why is he filling the tube with spiritual stones? Even if it is a weapon, there is no need to fill it with spiritual stones. I really don't understand what he is doing. He is just filling the tube with spiritual stones. If it can kill Hong Wudao, I will eat *T. Brother, you are so brave. Me too. A group of people watched as Yi Hao filled the magic crystal cannon with spiritual stones. Many of them sneered. If it wasn't for the fact that they were in Yi Hao's territory, they would have laughed even louder. It should be about done. Yi Hao looked at the magic crystal cannon. It was almost filled with spiritual stones. This made his heart ache again. Only after filling the magic crystal cannon with spiritual stones did he realize that the amount of spiritual stones in the magic crystal cannon was much more than he had imagined. Just the amount of spiritual stones loaded this time was equivalent to 1/10 of the 100 transformation Heavenly Gate formation. One must know that the 100 transformation Heavenly Gate formation covered the entire Tianyuan royal city. Its area was naturally not to be underestimated. But this magic crystal cannon had to consume 1/10 of the 100 transformation Heavenly Gate formation's spiritual stones every time it was used. One could imagine how terrifying it was. One must know that these were spiritual stones, not spirit coins. Normally, a small spiritual stone could be used to create a few or even a dozen spirit coins. Formation change. Yi Hao suddenly controlled the 100 transformation Heavenly Gate formation again. He was worried that the magic crystal cannon was too powerful. It would be bad if the civilians of the Tianyuan Royal Kingdom were accidentally injured when they bombarded Hong Wudao. Son of a *TCH, didn't you want to kill me? I can't wait. Son of a *TCH, what are you waiting for? Hong Wudao believed that Yi Hao wouldn't be able to kill him, so he hooted at this moment. He wanted to see how Yi Hao would be able to get out of this situation if he couldn't kill him with this lousy tube. And if he guessed correctly, this black tube should be a weapon. Since it was a weapon, someone should be using it. When the time came, no matter who used this black tube to fight him, he would tear them into pieces to vent the anger in his heart and show Yi Hao who was in charge. Chapter 1032. Hong Wudao looked at Yi Hao in confusion. At the same time, he was on his guard. He was worried that Yi Hao was up to some tricks again. To be honest, he wasn't afraid of Yi Hao at all. The only thing he was afraid of was the 100 changing sky gate array beneath his feet. Therefore, he had to be on guard when Yi Hao changed the 100 changing sky gate array. Your Majesty, the 4 emissaries panicked when they saw Yi Hao use the array. They thought that Yi Hao was going to break his promise and use the array to kill Hong Wudao. My words carry enormous weight. Yi Hao didn't explain. He couldn't be bothered to do so either. This was because changing the array and controlling it consumed a lot of mind power. Moreover, Yi Hao wanted to move all the citizens of the Tianyuan kingdom a few kilometers away from Hong Wudao. Yi Hao didn't care about the spectators who were obviously weaker than him. Their lives had nothing to do with him at all. When the 4 emissaries saw that Yi Hao didn't look well, they thought that Yi Hao didn't look well because he was about to lose. The 4 emissaries were secretly delighted, but they didn't dare say anything. They were also afraid that Yi Hao would get angry and Yi Hao wouldn't admit to the bet. That would be bad luck. After all, they were still powerhouses. Yi Hao had a lot of spirit stones. They couldn't take out so many spirit stones, even if he asked them. Naturally, they were unwilling to accept that Yi Hao had cheated them of so many spirit stones. Therefore, they were all hoping that they wouldn't be able to give Yi Hao any more spirit stones if they won the bet. The four emissaries tactfully retreated to the side. Close the array. At the same time, Yihao closed the 100-changing sky gate array. After all, Yihao was worried that an accident would happen if the demonic crystal cannon blasted the 100-changing sky gate array. At least for now, the 100-changing sky gate array was still very helpful to him. As such, he could not allow the 100-transformation heavenly gate formation to be damaged in the slightest. I didn't sense wrongly, right? This kid seems to have removed the formation, Hong Wudao suddenly said suspiciously in his heart. At this moment, Hong Wudao did not act rashly. Obviously, the illusion from before had left a shadow on him. He was afraid that he would fall into Yihao's illusion again and fall into Yihao's trap. But upon closer inspection, he discovered that the array formation really seemed to have been removed. Should we make a move? Hong Wudao wondered if he could kill Yihao before Yihao activated the array formation. What if this was Yihao's scheme again? What would they do then? You actually dare to stare blankly. Don't blame me then. Yihao was initially worried that Hong Wudao would escape or attack him if he closed the array formation. That would definitely affect his ability to aim at Hong Wudao and fire. What surprised him was that Hong Wudao actually stood in the same place, motionless. How could Yihao waste such an excellent opportunity? He immediately activated the demonic crystal cannon. I'm going all out. Hong Wudao did not care if it was Yihao's scheme anymore. After all, with the array formation around, he had no chance of killing Yihao at all. Now that the array formation was closed, he still had a chance to kill Yihao. He did not want to miss even the slightest chance. Blade boom! Just as Hong Wudao was about to activate his spiritual technique, a loud sound suddenly interrupted him. This sound was even louder than the thunder from the nine heavens, and it was not inferior to it at all. This loud sound reverberated through the entire Tianyuan royal city, startling everyone. What's going on? What's that sound? Quick, look! What's that? Everyone immediately looked at the demonic crystal cannon. This power is so terrifying. Hong Wudao looked at the demonic crystal cannon, shooting a ball of light at him, and thought. Hong Wudao's eyes widened as he looked at the ball of light that was getting closer and closer to him. For a moment, he actually forgot to dodge. Oh no! Looking at the powerful power of the ball of light, Hong Wudao felt the aura of death. Hong Wudao suddenly woke up and wanted to escape. However, he had already missed the best time to escape. Escaping now would only make him die faster. I'm going all out. Hong Wudao let out a furious roar and unleashed all his strength, using his saber to block the attack. Blade splitting mountains and rivers. Hong Wudao roared, and a huge blade shadow that was dozens of meters long appeared in front of him. Boom! Hong Wudao immediately attacked and looked at the ball of light. Boom! An explosion could be heard, and Hong Wudao's giant shadow collapsed immediately. Seeing that the ball of light was still intact, Hong Wudao was shocked. At this moment, the ball of light was only a foot away from him. Hong Wudao was shocked and hurriedly activated his strength to block in front of him. Hong Wudao obviously did not expect the ball of light to be so powerful that even his most powerful spiritual attack could not do anything to it. As for the spectators, they were completely stunned by the scene in front of them. Oh my God, what kind of power is that? Why does it look so powerful? Oh my God, the aura on it is so terrifying. Is it really from the ball of light? Hong Wudao's attack just now was also very powerful. However, under the ball of light, it was so weak. What the hell is that? Therefore, the onlookers were all shocked and focused on the ball of light at this moment. This is so powerful. Looking at the ball of light, the messenger of the Yinsong kingdom swallowed his saliva in shock. At this moment, he had a bad feeling in his heart. Oh no, I'm going to lose. However, at this moment, he could no longer think about winning or losing. His eyes were also fixed on the ball of light, not daring to miss a single thing. The remaining three messengers were all shocked at this moment and also fixed their eyes on the ball of light. What the hell is that? It looks so powerful. Where did His Majesty get such a mysterious and powerful thing. It looks so ordinary, but I didn't expect it to be so powerful. I feel that I don't even have a chance to fight back in front of it. It can even defeat Hong Wudao's spiritual attack. I guess it is possible for it to kill Hong Wudao. The officials also looked at the demonic crystal cannon in shock. At this moment, they were all concentrating on the ball of light. What the hell is that thing? It is so powerful. Elder Hu, have you seen this thing before? Its aura is so terrifying. The group of alchemists were all shocked at this moment. One of them directly asked Elder Hu. Elder Hu also shook his head in shock. Forgive me for my poor eyesight. I really have not seen this thing before. I did not expect the Tianyuan kingdom to have such a powerful weapon. Chapter 1033. Just as everyone's eyes were locked onto the light spot appeared. The light spot finally hit Hong Wudao's body. Oh no! Hong Wudao's heart sank when he saw that the light spot was so close to him. It was exuding a powerful and terrifying aura of destruction. Crack! The moment the light spot hit Hong Wudao's weapon, the weapon instantly shattered and turned into nothingness. Hong Wudao had no choice but to use all the strength in his body to increase his physical defense. However, all of his efforts had been in vain. They were completely useless. Bang! The light spot exploded with a powerful force and directly exploded on Hong Wudao's body. A huge pit appeared within a mile of Hong Wudao's body. Hong Wudao himself was directly blasted into the huge pit. Everyone's jaws dropped when they saw this scene. One had to know that the ground wasn't made of ordinary soil, but was made of powerful stone. Ordinary demon emperors could not hurt it at all. This showed how prosperous the Tianyuan kingdom used to be. Even Atman body realm experts could damage the ground, but they could not destroy the ground within a mile of it. Therefore, one could see how powerful this cannon was. The onlookers from the other forces were now drenched in cold sweat. Many of them were standing at the edge of the huge pit and were blown away by the powerful force of the demonic crystal cannon. Fortunately, they saw that Yi Hao moved the people of the Tianyuan kingdom far away from Hong Wudao. For safety's sake, they also retreated quite a distance. It was conceivable that if they did not retreat so far and were closer to Hong Wudao, they would have died without leaving a trace. At this moment, everyone looked at the huge pit on the ground and were still in shock. They raised their heads to look at the magical crystal cannons beside Yi Hao, and the disdain in their eyes turned into fear. Powerful. All of them could only use this word to describe the demonic crystal cannon, because they were so shocked that they did not know how to describe the demonic crystal cannon better. They saw with their own eyes that Hong Wudao did not have the slightest ability to fight back under the demonic crystal cannon. That was a level 8 Atman body cultivator. Hong Wudao's cultivation was already a legendary existence in their eyes. However, such a terrifying existence couldn't even retaliate in the face of the magical crystal cannons. One could imagine what it would be like if they were to face the magical crystal cannon. Ding dong! Congratulations to host for killing a level 8 Atman body cultivator. Congratulations to host for gaining 800,000 experience points. Ding dong! Congratulations to host for obtaining 10 Atman body leveling pills. Ding dong! Congratulations to host for obtaining 3 Atman body level magic crystal cannons. Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for obtaining a rank 5 spiritual martial realm cultivation and a 0-hour gain card. What Yi Hao did not expect was that the system would be so generous this time, directly giving him 10 Atman body leveling pills. One had to know that with so many leveling pellets, it was more than enough to create an Atman body level pinnacle cultivator. Moreover, the system directly rewarded him with 3 magic crystal cannons. The power of the demonic crystal cannon could be seen from the expressions of everyone present. A single demonic crystal cannon was equivalent to a level 10 Atman body cultivator. Moreover, as long as there were enough spirit stones, the demonic crystal cannon could be used continuously. It was definitely a divine weapon for conquering cities. As for the spiritual martial realm 0-hour gain card, Yi took a look at it and put it back into his bag. Not to mention other things, not only the 10 Ottman body level leveling pills, but also the 3 demonic crystal cannons. It was a huge profit. Moreover, he didn't use any capital at all, because the spirit stones he used were reimbursed by others. In this world, there was no other business that could be compared to this. The dignified Blacksword sect's 5th Supreme Elder. Could it be that he died, just like that? Suddenly, an onlooker couldn't help but ask. From the looks of it, he should be dead. But that's not necessarily true. After all, the strength of the Ottman body level is not something we can imagine. Maybe Hong Wu-Dao was just blasted into the pit. What's the use of saying this? Let's go and take a look, then we'll know. Hearing this person's words, no one dared to go to the side of the giant pit to take a look. Not because of anything else, but because in their hearts, they were still afraid of Hong Wu-Dao. Obviously, they were worried that Hong Wu-Dao was not dead. If he jumped out of the pit and attacked them, they would be in trouble. Everyone was in a deadlock. They didn't dare to go forward to take a look, but they also wanted to know if Hong Wu-Dao was dead or alive, because they were also curious whether the cannon could hurt Hong Wu-Dao. Especially those onlookers from other forces, they were even more curious. After all, such a powerful new thing had appeared. They also had to investigate and report back to their own forces. Your Majesty, is Hong Wu-Dao dead? At this moment, the officials also looked at Yi Hao curiously. Although the 4 messengers didn't speak, at this moment, they all pricked up their ears and looked at Yi Hao. After all, this was related to the bet. Originally, they had already given Yi Hao a lot of spirit stones. If they lost now, they would have to give Yi Hao twice the amount. Then, they wouldn't be able to survive. Of course, they were also concerned about the power of the demonic crystal cannon. After all, such a divine weapon had appeared in Tianyuan Kingdom. They had to be careful. If this demonic crystal cannon could really kill an Ottman body realm expert, which country here could be a match for Tianyuan Kingdom? After all, according to the public, the strongest expert in these few countries was only the Demon Emperor. There was no Ottman body realm expert at all. If this was the case, then their country was even less of a match for Tianyuan Kingdom. Under my demonic crystal cannon, how can a mere Ottman body realm level 8 ant survive? At this moment, there were countless forces looking at him. Therefore, he had in mind speaking more loudly. After all, the demonic crystal cannon was so powerful that it would definitely tempt many people. Therefore, he had to exaggerate the power of the demonic crystal cannon to intimidate the forces present. So, this is called the demonic crystal cannon. We have never heard of it before. Everyone couldn't help but think when they heard the name of the demonic crystal cannon. But obviously, none of them had heard of this demonic crystal cannon. When everyone heard the second half of Yi Hao's sentence, they all went into an uproar. Oh my God, what did he say? Did I hear wrongly? He called an Ottman body realm level 8 an ant. If an Ottman body realm level 8 is an ant, then what are we? We are worse than ants. Chapter 1034. Whether it's really that powerful or not, we'll know when we see it. After hearing Yi Hao's words, many onlookers immediately came forward to see if Hong Wu-Dao was dead or not. Everyone came to the huge pit and was shocked again, because if they didn't see it, they wouldn't know. This huge pit was more than 100 meters deep. If it weren't for the fact that everyone present was a warrior with good eyesight, they wouldn't have been able to see it. Everyone found it hard to believe that such a huge pit was made by that small demon crystal cannon. But this was what they saw with their own eyes, so they had to believe it. Where is he? One person recovered from the shock and suddenly exclaimed. This exclamation also made everyone come back to their senses and immediately looked down. They found that there was no corpse in the huge pit, not even broken limbs. They saw with their own eyes that Hong Wu-Dao was blasted into the pit, so it was impossible for Hong Wu-Dao to escape. And on the ground of the huge pit, there was only a pool of blood left. Could it be that Hong Wu-Dao was blasted into nothingness? Although it's unbelievable, this is the only possibility. Isn't this demon crystal cannon too powerful? Even a level 8 Ottman body cultivator would be blasted into nothingness. Even a level 10 Ottman body cultivator wouldn't be able to kill a level 8 Ottman body cultivator in one shot. Didn't you hear that Yi Hao is a level 8 Ottman body expert? You can imagine the power of this demon crystal cannon. Damn, if we have this demon crystal cannon, who would be a match for the Tianyuan kingdom? You see, the four messengers on the city wall have ugly expressions. Everyone looked at the pool of blood in the pit and started discussing in shock. Who would have thought that Hong Wudao, who is famous in the continent and famous in several countries, would end up like this, dying without a complete corpse? And the four messengers on the city wall, when they heard that Hong Wudao was really dead and not even ashes were left, their faces turned ugly. Of course, losing spirit stones was one thing, and the other thing was that the Tianyuan kingdom had this demon crystal cannon, so they couldn't help but worry for their country. Your Majesty, how should we deal with this? Do you want me to get someone to fill that hole to death? One of the officials asked as he looked at the huge hole. There's no rush. Let's dispose of the corpses and throw them in first. Yi Hao's gaze swept over the corpses of the Black Sword sect members. Yes, Your Majesty. The minister quickly responded. There's no hurry to fill the hole. I want to bury the entire Black Sword sect here. Anyone who dares to challenge my Tianyuan kingdom will be punished, no matter how far away they are, Yi Hao said with a deep voice. The moment Yi Hao spoke, the Tianyuan kingdom's national fate surrounded Yi Hao, creating a huge pressure on everyone present. When everyone heard Yi Hao's words, their bodies violently trembled. The officials and citizens of the Tianyuan kingdom felt their blood boiling. Long live His Majesty! Long live His Majesty! Long live His Majesty! All the citizens knelt on the ground at this moment. Their cries rang out in the sky above the Tianyuan kingdom, each wave louder than the last. Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for increasing the national fate. Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for increasing the national fate. Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for increasing the national fate. Everyone could see with their naked eyes that Yi Hao's national fate was spreading out. At this moment, wisps of national fate appeared in the air from all directions and merged with Yi Hao's body. The four emissaries trembled when they heard Yi Hao's words. One had to know that the hardest thing for a country to grow was its national fate. But now, they could actually see the Tianyuan kingdom's national fate increasing. This kind of person is too terrifying. The four emissaries thought in shock. In their eyes, there was a tinge of fear as they looked at Yi Hao. This was because Yi Hao had brought them too much shock. One could either become friends with this kind of person or become an enemy. But becoming an enemy was incomparably terrifying. If they really became an enemy, they definitely couldn't allow him to grow. They had to nip him in the bud. Therefore, the four emissaries were now thinking of not offending Yi Hao. They had to quickly report this news back to their countries. It would be even better if they could find out exactly how many demonic crystal cannons Yi Hao had. Congratulations, Your Majesty. You have killed a strong enemy. Your Majesty's invincible power will definitely spread throughout the world. At this thought, the emissary of the Yinsong kingdom immediately congratulated Yi Hao. How dare the small Black Sword sect go against Your Majesty? They are really reckless. Your Majesty's demonic crystal cannons are indeed powerful. With these demonic crystal cannons, who would dare to provoke the Tianyuan kingdom? I wonder how many of these demonic crystal cannons Your Majesty has. The remaining three emissaries also asked tentatively as they congratulated Yi Hao. Emissaries, why are you asking this? Yi Hao naturally knew that these emissaries were trying to find out more about him. We're just curious. The four emissaries didn't dare to ask further and could only smile awkwardly. I see. Emissaries, please return the money you owe me. Return the wager, and I will consider whether to satisfy your curiosity or not. Yi Hao nodded and said. When they heard Yi Hao mention the bet, the four emissaries felt their hearts ache. However, when they heard Yi Hao's words, their eyes lit up. Your Majesty, don't worry. We are willing to accept our loss. The Yinsong Kingdom will definitely pay you the spiritual stones. That's right. A loss is a loss. The Yufeng Kingdom will return the spiritual stones to your Majesty as soon as possible. The same goes for the Lansong Kingdom. Since all of you have said so, the Daming Kingdom won't go back on our word. The four emissaries gritted their teeth and smiled. Obviously, they were going all out in order to find out more about the Tianyuan Kingdom. However, when they thought about giving Yihao so many spiritual stones, they felt extremely uncomfortable. When they saw Hong Wudao coming to find trouble with Yihao, they thought that they would be able to watch the show. It would be best if Yihao was killed and the Tianyuan Kingdom was destroyed. In that case, they wouldn't have to give Yihao so much equipment. However, who would have thought that after such a long time, Yihao didn't suffer any losses? Instead, they were the ones who suffered losses. After all, Yihao cheated them of so many spiritual stones. In other words, the resources that Yihao used to kill Hong Wudao were all paid for by them. The thought of using their own resources to help Yihao kill his enemies made them furious. However, they were the ones who had slandered Yihao and the Tianyuan Kingdom. Later on, they even made a bet with Yihao. Chapter 1035. All right, let's return to the palace. After killing Hong Wudao, Yihao did not waste any more time on the city walls. He had to start training the elites. After all, he had 15 Atman body leveling pills in his storage space. These pills could allow anyone to reach level 10 of the Atman body realm. However, when Yihao thought about who to give these pills to, he was in a dilemma. After all, he was the emperor now. He had to treat his subordinates fairly. However, if he were to distribute these pills equally, he would lose the value of the pills. Guan Yu, Huang Zhong, Zhao Yun, Ran Min, and Sun Shangxiang, the five of you come to my study, Yihao said and walked toward the study. Yes, when the five of them heard Yihao's words, they hurriedly responded and followed him. Your Majesty, we request an audience. Guan Yu and the others came to the study and said respectfully, come in. Yihao's voice came from the study. Hearing Yihao's words, the five of them immediately walked into the study. As a result, a strong medicinal fragrance assaulted their nostrils. The five of them could not help but look over. Yihao was sitting behind a table. On the table, there were 9 white jade boxes. The five of them were stunned when they saw the white jade boxes. Then, they thought of something and their eyes lit up. They looked at the 9 white jade boxes with a fiery gaze. Do you know why I called you here? Yihao looked at the five of them with a fiery gaze. He was very satisfied. After all, these people had taken the leveling pills. Although these Atman body leveling pills were of a higher grade, they could still recognize them at a glance. I'm stupid, I don't know. Guan Yu shook his head. However, the anticipation on his face revealed his thoughts. Haha, do you really not know? Or are you just pretending? Yihao laughed when he saw Guan Yu's expression. Obviously, Guan Yu's strength in the Myriad Kingdom continent had allowed him to grow a lot. Therefore, Yihao was very satisfied when he saw Guan Yu's expression. When Guan Yu heard Yihao's words, her already rosy face turned even redder. All right, I won't tease you anymore. These 9 pills are Atman body breakthrough pellets. It can help any one of you reach Atman body 10th level. Yihao said. Hearing Yihao's words, the five of them confirmed their suspicions. They looked at each other in shock. Although they had guessed that it was an Atman body level breakthrough pill, they couldn't be sure. The reason for that was because in their eyes, it was simply a divine pill. They obviously didn't expect Yihao to have such a powerful pill. When they heard Yihao's confirmation, they were completely excited. As soon as they heard that they could directly break through to the 10th level Atman body realm, the five of them looked at Yihao nervously. This was because they understood what Yihao meant. These elixirs would only be given to one of them. However, in their hearts, they were very eager to get their hands on these elixirs. Therefore, they were waiting for Yihao's next words. However, there are only so many elixirs. As the saying goes, good steel should be used on the edge of a blade. If the elixirs were to be distributed equally, the 5 of you would at most reach 3rd level body, refinement realm. However, not to mention 5 3rd level Atman body realm cultivators, even 10 of you wouldn't be a match for 1 10th level Atman body realm cultivator. Therefore, I have decided that these elixirs will only be given to one of you. Yi Hao looked at the 5 of them and continued, "We will follow your majesty's arrangements." Although the 5 of them were eager to get their hands on these elixirs, they also didn't want to make things difficult for Yi Hao. This was because their loyalty to Yi Hao was unquestionable. Haha, I am very satisfied with your loyalty. Looking at the 5 of them, Yi Hao smiled happily. However, I will be fair to all of you. I will not be biased towards anyone. If you want to get your hands on these elixirs, it will depend on your own abilities. Could it be that your majesty wants the 5 of us to compete against each other? Sun Shangxiang asked. You can say yes, but you can also say no. Yi Hao nodded, then shook his head. When the 5 of them heard Yi Hao's words, they were instantly confused. You also know that the Flowing Cloud Kingdom has sent troops to attack me, right? Yi Hao looked at the 5 of them and asked, could it be that your majesty wants the 5 of us to fight against the enemy together? I think your majesty wants the 5 of us to lead our respective troops and see who kills the most enemies will get the elixirs. But this isn't fair. My troops are so far away, and you guys are so close. How can we beat you guys? This is also a problem. Let's see what your majesty wants to do. The 5 of them spoke one after another, then looked at Yi Hao. It's just 5 million soldiers. You want these elixirs just to fight against the enemy? You guys are too naive. Yi hadn't put the 5 million soldiers in his eyes at all. After all, the 10 million soldiers of the Broken Kingdom were easily annihilated by him. Although the quality of the soldiers of the Flowing Cloud Kingdom was much better than that of the Broken Kingdom, the number of soldiers was less than half. Moreover, Yi Hao had a better way to defeat the enemy. He wanted to use the fastest speed to destroy the Flowing Cloud Kingdom. Only then would he be able to establish his prestige. After all, he had just ascended to the throne, and establishing his prestige was absolutely necessary. Is it not to fight against the enemy? Then what is your majesty's intention? We are slow-witted. Please enlighten us, your majesty. The 5 of them originally thought that it was to fight against the 5 million soldiers. Now that they heard Yi Hao say that it wasn't to fight against the 5 million soldiers, they couldn't help but ask anxiously. Obviously, the 5 of them were very eager to know the specifics of the battle. Each of them couldn't wait to raise their cultivation to level 10 Atman body. After all, they had seen Hong Wudao's strength and yearned for it. There was a shortcut in front of them that could raise their cultivation to a higher level than Hong Wudao. Therefore, how could they not be envious of such a huge temptation? Come over here. After Yi Hao said that, he stood up and walked to the room beside the study. At this moment, there was a map on the wall of the room. This is the map of the Flowing Cloud Kingdom. Entering the room, Guan Yu recognized the map in front of him at a glance. Although the other 4 didn't say anything, they obviously recognized the map in front of them. This was because when the 5 of them heard that the Flowing Cloud Kingdom was going to attack the Tianyuan Kingdom, they had already started preparing. Naturally, the 5 of them knew about the situation in the Flowing Cloud Kingdom. Therefore, they recognized the map as soon as they saw it. Chapter 1036. Flowing Cloud Kingdom's Imperial City. When the 5 of them saw the location that Yi Hao pointed at, their eyes widened in shock. That's right. If you want those 9 elixirs, then let's see who among the 5 of you will be the first to break into the Flowing Cloud Kingdom's Imperial City and cut off the Flowing Cloud Kingdom's Emperor's head. The 5 of them did not expect that Yi Hao would directly use the Flowing Cloud Kingdom's Emperor's head as a competition. However, the 5 of them quickly bowed and said, "We accept the order. Go." Yi Hao waved his hand. Obviously, he was very confident in the strength of the 5 of them. After all, Broken Kingdom's strongest powerhouse at that time was merely a fiend emperor-level cultivation. Therefore, Even if the Flowing Cloud Kingdom's experts were slightly stronger than the Broken Kingdom's emissary, they would not have reached the Atman body realm. After the 5 of them received Yi Hao's order, they quickly left. Yi Hao looked at the speed of the 5 of them. It was obvious that each of them was determined to get those 9 elixirs. Your Majesty, Yin Liang is here. At this moment, a guard came to report. Let him in. Yi Hao sat back down and said, This general, Yin Liang, greets your Majesty. Yin Liang walked into the room and bowed to Yi Hao. Yin Liang, what's your current cultivation? Yi Hao looked at Yin Liang and asked, replying, Your Majesty, Yin Liang is slow-witted. My current cultivation is 3rd Order Demon Venerable. Yin Liang said embarrassedly. Not bad. Hearing Yin Liang's cultivation, Yi Hao nodded. Of course, Yi Hao really said that Yin Liang was not bad. After all, for other cultivators, it would normally take a few years for their cultivation to break through by 1 level. However, Yin Liang was able to raise his cultivation by 3 levels in a few short months. It was indeed not bad. After all, when he summoned Yin Liang, he was only a peak demon emperor. Come spar with me. Yi Hao looked at Yin Liang and said, This general does not dare. Yin Liang quickly said, Why? Are you afraid of hurting me? Yi Hao looked at Yin Liang's appearance and couldn't help laughing. Although Yin Liang didn't say anything, he obviously thought so too. Even though he knew that Yi Hao's cultivation had broken through very quickly, he knew that Yi Hao was no match for him. Don't worry. Come on. Yi Hao released his cultivation as soon as he finished speaking. 10th Order Devil Emperor. Yin Liang's expression changed when he sensed Yi Hao's cultivation. Although he knew that Yi Hao's breakthrough speed was faster than ordinary people, he had not expected Yi Hao's cultivation to break through to the 10th Order Devil Emperor realm. Yes, Your Majesty. I will suppress my cultivation to the 10th Order Devil Emperor realm and spar with Your Majesty. Yin Liang nodded in agreement when he saw that Yi Hao wanted to spar with him. But Your Majesty, should we change the location? Yin Liang glanced at the study. No need, and you don't have to suppress your cultivation. Yi Hao said and immediately attacked Yin Liang. Then Your Majesty should be careful. Although Yin Liang heard Yi Hao say that he didn't have to suppress his cultivation, Yin Liang was afraid that he would hurt Yi Hao, so he still suppressed his cultivation. Bang! In an instant, their palms collided. Yi Hao stood still in the same spot, while Yin Liang did take a few steps back. When Yin Liang felt a huge force coming from his palm, he was startled. He quickly stabilized himself. Your Majesty is indeed stronger than ordinary people. Yin Liang couldn't help but praise. Yin Liang felt that Yi Hao's strength was definitely not something that a 10th Order Devil Emperor realm like him could compare with. I told you not to suppress your cultivation. Yi Hao had expected that Yin Liang would suppress his cultivation, so he didn't use his full strength. Yi Hao couldn't help but say to Yin Liang, Then Your Majesty should be careful. Yin Liang knew that he had underestimated Yi Hao, so he didn't suppress his cultivation anymore. After Yin Liang finished speaking, he immediately threw a punch at Yi Hao. Good. Yi Hao went straight for the fight. However, Yi Hao didn't use his full strength this time. Instead, he suppressed his cultivation to the same level as Yin Liang. He wanted to hone his combat experience. After all, Yin Liang's combat experience was also very rich. The two of them fought for hundreds of rounds. Yin Liang became more and more shocked as the fight went on. He couldn't help but wonder if Yi Hao was really a 10th Order Devil Emperor. He was a 3rd Order Devil Emperor. To think that he was worried that he might injure Yi Hao at the start, so he purposely suppressed his cultivation from start. But now he had already fought hundreds of rounds with Yi Hao, but he couldn't gain the upper hand no matter what. All right, I'm not going to play with you anymore, Yi Hao said and increased the strength in his hand. What? Yin Liang was stunned when he heard Yi Hao's words. He didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying. How is this possible? Yin Liang exclaimed in his heart. Yin Liang quickly stabilized his body and looked at Yi Hao in shock. Your Majesty, are you really a 10th Order Devil Emperor? Yin Liang felt that Yi Hao's strength was definitely above the 5th Order Devil Emperor. However, Yi Hao's cultivation was at the 10th Order Devil Emperor. Yin Liang couldn't understand it. Yes. Yi Hao nodded his head. Your Majesty, how did you do it? Yin Liang asked in shock when he saw Yi Hao nodding his head. Yin Liang was stunned when he heard Yi Hao's words. He didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying. How is this possible? Yin Liang exclaimed in his heart. Yin Liang quickly stabilized his body and looked at Yi Hao in shock. Your Majesty, are you really a 10th Order Devil Emperor? Yin Liang felt that Yi Hao's strength was definitely above the 5th Order Devil Emperor. However, Yi Hao's cultivation was at the 10th Order Devil Emperor. Yin Liang couldn't understand it. Yes. Yi Hao nodded his head. Your Majesty, how did you do it? Yin Liang asked in shock when he saw Yi Hao nodding his head. Yin Liang was stunned when he heard Yi Hao's words. He didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying. How is this possible? Yin Liang exclaimed in his heart. Yin Liang quickly stabilized his body and looked at Yi Hao in shock. Your Majesty, are you really a 10th Order Devil Emperor? Yin Liang felt that Yi Hao's strength was definitely above the 5th Order Devil Emperor. However, Yi Hao's cultivation was at the 10th Order Devil Emperor. Yin Liang couldn't understand it. Yes. Yi Hao nodded his head. Your Majesty, how did you do it? Yin Liang asked in shock when he saw Yi Hao nodding his head. Yin Liang was stunned when he heard Yi Hao's words. He didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying. How is this possible? Yin Liang exclaimed in his heart. Yin Liang quickly stabilized his body and looked at Yi Hao in shock. Your Majesty, are you really a 10th Order Devil Emperor? Yin Liang felt that Yi Hao's strength was definitely above the 5th Order Devil Emperor. However, Yi Hao's cultivation was at the 10th Order Devil Emperor. Yin Liang couldn't understand it. Chapter 1037. When Yin Liang heard Yi Hao's words, he thought that Yi Hao didn't want him anymore and wanted to chase him away. However, he also knew that his cultivation was indeed too low. However, he had been working hard on his cultivation. His cultivation speed was already fast enough. It was impossible for him to go any faster. After all, cultivation had to be done step by step. When the conditions were right, success would follow naturally. This was something that he couldn't rush. In fact, Yin Liang knew that he couldn't blame himself for his slow cultivation speed. He could only blame Yi Hao for his rapid growth and development. He couldn't keep up with Yi Hao's pace. However, he was extremely loyal and devoted to Yi Hao. If he were to be driven away by Yi Hao, it would be better to directly kill him. Therefore, he knelt on the ground. Get up first. What did I say? I'm going to chase you away. Yi Hao was stunned when he heard Yin Liang's words. He couldn't help but admire Yin Liang's imagination. Yi Hao walked to Yin Liang and helped him up. Your Majesty, you're not chasing me away. Yin Liang was delighted when he heard Yi Hao's words. I called you here to help you improve your cultivation. Do your job well. Improve my cultivation. Yin Liang was shocked when he heard Yi Hao's words. Then, he was in disbelief. After all, he was now a 3rd Order Demon Master. It wasn't easy for him to improve his cultivation. Take these elixirs first. Raise your cultivation to the peak of the Demon Master level. Yi Hao took out some Demon Master elixirs. Other than Atman Body Realm elixirs, he had other elixirs. He had quite a number of Demon Master and Demon Emperor level elixirs. Therefore, he didn't feel the pinch when he gave Yin Liang these elixirs. After all, the system had stipulated that he couldn't take these elixirs. If he gave them to others, he wouldn't be able to give them to Yin Liang. After all, Yin Liang was much more talented than most of his subordinates. Yi Hao also realized that the generals summoned by the system were much more talented and experienced than the people in the ancient demon realm. Therefore, these good things naturally had to be given to the person summoned by the system. As for his subordinates in the ancient demon domain, it wasn't that he didn't want to give them elixirs, but that would depend on their loyalty and performance. There was no doubt about Yin Liang's loyalty. Your Majesty, are you saying that you can raise your cultivation to the peak of the demon venerable realm with pills? Yin Liang was shocked when he heard Yi Hao's words. If not for his loyalty to Yi Hao, he would have suspected that Yi Hao was trying to trick him. After all, there was a difference of 7 levels between a third-order demon venerable and a peak demon venerable. Normally, without 3 to 5 years of cultivation, it was impossible to raise one's cultivation from the 3rd-order demon venerable to the 10th-order demon venerable. To be able to raise his cultivation from the 3rd-order demon venerable realm to the 10th-order demon venerable realm in 3 to 5 years was also under the condition that his cultivation was smooth and he didn't encounter any bottlenecks. Otherwise, it would take even longer. However, Yi Hao said that he could achieve it with just a few pills. If someone else had said this, he would have turned around and left. However, since it was Yi Hao who said it, he chose to believe it no matter how unbelievable it was. This was loyalty. Yes, your majesty. After Yan Liang bowed, he took the pills and swallowed them. As soon as the pills entered his body, Yan Liang felt a strong force flowing through his body. Yan Liang quickly sat down cross-legged and started to control the force in his body. Boom! After a few seconds, Yan Liang's aura surged, and his cultivation reached the 4th-order demon venerable realm. I really broke through. Yan Liang felt that his cultivation had really increased by a level. He couldn't help but be surprised and happy. A look of worry appeared in Yan Liang's eyes. That was because he also knew that there were some medicinal pills that could be used to increase one's cultivation rapidly. However, the price of a rapid increase in cultivation was that one's foundation would be unstable and they wouldn't be a match for cultivators of the same level. As the saying went, they were strong on the outside but weak on the inside. Moreover, there would be huge repercussions after consuming such pills. The biggest repercussions would be that it would be extremely difficult to break through again. At the very least, it would be many times more difficult than ordinary cultivators. Yan Liang had to admit that the pills that Yi Hao had given him were very powerful. However, he couldn't help but worry that these pills would bring about serious repercussions. Don't worry, I can guarantee you that these pills won't have any repercussions. Yi Hao said directly to Yan Liang when he saw Yan Liang's expression. He could tell what Yan Liang was thinking. After all, this was a product of the system. How could there be repercussions? Moreover, even if there were repercussions, he wouldn't be so stupid as to give it to his own people. Yi Hao wasn't that stupid to kill the goose that laid the golden eggs. One had to know that under the enhancement of the system, the cultivation potential of the summoned generals was incomparably strong. Yi Hao wouldn't destroy these generals for a moment of pleasure. Yan Liang finally felt relieved when he heard Yi Hao's words. Your Majesty, it's not that I'm suspicious. Yan Liang was afraid that Yi Hao would misunderstand and hurriedly explained to show his loyalty. Yi Hao naturally wouldn't doubt the loyalty of the generals summoned by the system. He waved his hand and said, You don't have to explain. I understand. Continue to consume the pills. Yes. Yan Liang was touched when he heard Yi Hao's words. He hurriedly continued to consume the pills. After more than 10 minutes, Yan Liang's face was filled with excitement. This was because he had managed to raise his cultivation level to the 10th-order demon venerable in less than 10 minutes. Yan Liang was so excited when he felt the majestic power in his body that he felt like he was dreaming. This was because he had never thought that his cultivation would rise so quickly. He had raised his cultivation level from the 3rd-order demon venerable to the 10th-order demon venerable in less than 10 minutes. One should know that he had spent a few months to raise his cultivation base from the 10th-order demon emperor to the 3rd-order demon venerable. In his opinion, it was already fast enough. Who would have thought that it would be even faster now? This was simply cheating. It turned out that it was so easy to raise one's cultivation level. When he had raised his cultivation level to the 7th-order demon venerable, he had been observing his cultivation level to see if it was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. In the end, he realized that there wasn't any problem with his body. It was exactly the same as when he cultivated step by step. Chapter 1038. That was why he wanted to see if there were really no side effects after taking the pills. In the end, he had to admit that the pills were really powerful. Yi Hao didn't lie to him. There were no side effects at all. Thank you, Your Majesty, for helping me reach the 10th Order Demon Venerable. Yin Liang looked at Yi Hao excitedly. His tone was filled with gratitude. What? You're satisfied with a mere 10th Order Demon Venerable? Yi Hao couldn't help but ask when he saw Yin Liang's excited expression. Yin Liang was stunned when he heard Yi Hao's words. Your Majesty, you mean you can help me increase my cultivation? Yin Liang looked at Yi Hao excitedly. The thrill of the consecutive breakthroughs had already made him crazy. Initially, he had thought that Yi Hao would be able to help him raise his cultivation to the 10th Order Archdevil Venerable realm. That was already good enough for him. However, he was shocked when he heard Yi Hao's words. Yi Hao didn't say anything. Instead, he took out 10 Demon Emperor leveling pills. Yin Liang looked at the 10 sparkling pills in Yi Hao's hand. They emitted a strong, medicinal fragrance. Yin Liang could tell at a glance that these leveling pills were of a higher grade than the previous pills. Are these Demon Emperor leveling pills that can help me reach the 10th Order Demon Venerable? Yin Liang's voice trembled as he looked at Yi Hao. The reason for that was because there were exactly 10 pills in Yi Hao's hand. If it was the same as the previous pills, one pill could raise his cultivation by 1 level, then his cultivation could reach the 10th Order Devil Emperor realm. That was the 10th Order Demon Venerable. Not to mention the 10th Order Demon Venerable. Just the thought of reaching the Demon Emperor level was enough to make him excited. That's right. Seeing Yin Liang's excited expression, Yi Hao passed the pills to Yin Liang. Thank you, Your Majesty. Yin Liang quickly received the pills. He was so excited that his face was flushed. His hands trembled as he received the pills from Yi Hao. This was a pill that could help a person reach the 10th Order Devil Emperor realm. How could he not be nervous and excited? If he were to take these pills out, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. After all, this was a medicinal pellet that could increase one's strength without any side effects. Such a medicinal pellet was simply akin to a divine pellet. Even if one had the money, one would not be able to purchase it. The more Yin Liang thought about it, the more shocked he was. What made him even more shocked was how Yi Hao had so many powerful elixirs. Yin Liang hurriedly took out a medicinal pill and swallowed it. With his previous experience, Yin Liang quickly crossed his legs and sat on the ground. The power of this pill is indeed much stronger than before. Yin Liang could feel the powerful energy in his body and could not help but sigh. As he watched Yin Liang consume the elixir, Yi Hao's gaze landed on a map on the table. If Hong Wudao was still alive, he would definitely be able to recognize that this was the map of the Black Sword sect. Boom! At that instant, Yin Liang's aura surged once again. Haha! I have also become a Devil Emperor realm expert. Feeling his own cultivation, Yin Liang suddenly laughed excitedly. Because of his excitement, there was a trace of tears at the corner of Yin Liang's eyes. Only he knew how much he wanted to increase his cultivation to help Yi Hao conquer the world. After all, as the first general under Yi Hao, he was Yi Hao's most powerful subordinate in the ancient demon realm. He watched as Yi Hao grew rapidly, and the experts around him emerged one after another. Gradually, he could not even see Yi Hao's back. This made him extremely anxious. However, his cultivation was too low. This was a shortcoming. He also wanted to continue to follow Yi Hao and continue to conquer the world, so he was also very diligent in his cultivation. What he did not expect was that he would be promoted to the Devil Emperor realm so quickly. In his opinion, the Devil Emperor realm was considered a strong expert in the Tianyuan kingdom. This would also allow him to have the power to help Yi Hao. Thinking of this, Yin Liang calmed down the excitement in his heart and continued to consume the elixir. Thank you, Your Majesty. Your subordinate's cultivation is now at the 10th Order Devil Emperor realm. Yin Liang finished consuming all the elixirs and looked at Yi Hao excitedly. Continue. Yi Hao did not say much. He took out 6 more elixirs and handed them to Yin Liang. Looking at the elixirs that Yi Hao handed over, Yin Liang was stunned. Slap! Who knew that Yin Liang did not take the elixirs? Instead, he slapped his own face. Seeing Yin Liang's action, Yihao was also stunned. He could not help but wonder if Yin Liang had taken too many elixirs and became stupid. Why did he slap himself when he was fine? Haha. Who knew that after Yin Liang slapped himself, he actually laughed wildly. F***CK. He really did turn stupid. Looking at Yin Liang's appearance, Yihao quickly asked the system, "System, didn't you say that the upgrade elixir had no side effects? Why did he become stupid?" Ding dong, the system is checking. Ding dong, the reason why the summon hero is like this is because he is overly excited. There are no side effects. All right. Hearing the system's words, Yihao looked at Yin Liang with disdain. He did not expect Yin Liang to be so useless. Just because he leveled up, he could become so excited. Ouch, it seems like I'm not dreaming. After slapping himself, Yin Liang felt the pain on his face and laughed happily. This was because Yin Liang could not understand what kind of great luck he had today. Originally, breaking through to the 10th Order Devil Emperor realm made him excited. In the end, Yihao took out 10 more elixirs and raised his cultivation to the 10th Order Devil Emperor realm. Just when he thought that it was over, Yihao took out 6 more elixirs. According to the fact that 1 elixir could allow him to break through to the 6th Order Atman Body realm. These 6 elixirs could allow him to break through to the 6th Order Atman Body realm. What kind of level was that? One had to know that Yihao's strongest subordinate was only at the 1st Order Atman Body realm. If he took these 6 elixirs and reached the 6th Order Atman Body realm, it meant that he could once again become Yihao's strongest subordinate. Because of that, he couldn't help but wonder if he was dreaming. Because of that, he couldn't help but slap himself. Forget it, these elixirs should. Yihao wanted to take back the elixirs because he was afraid that something would happen to Yin Liang because he was too excited. That would not be good. Don't, Your Majesty. Hearing Yihao's words and seeing that Yihao wanted to take back the elixirs, Yin Liang panicked. Yin Liang hurriedly cried and looked at Yihao pitifully. Chapter 1039. All right, take them quickly. Yihao couldn't stand the look on a man's face. Yihao handed the 6 elixirs to Yin Liang. Thank you, Your Majesty. Yin Liang took the elixirs happily and swallowed them, as if he was afraid that Yihao would return. While Yin Liang was swallowing the elixirs, the spiritual energy above the Tianyuan Imperial Palace began to surge and enter Yin Liang's body. Ha ha! So much spiritual energy. Yin Liang felt a large amount of spiritual energy entering his body and couldn't help but laugh. Boom! All of a sudden, Yin Liang's aura changed and his cultivation level reached the level of Atman Body Level 1. I've become a spiritual practitioner. Yin Liang was excited and looked at Yihao gratefully before continuing to consume the elixirs. How dare a small Tanyuan kingdom kill the supreme elder of the Black Sword sect? They must be tired of living. At this moment, Han Qingzi was sitting on the sect master's throne in the Black Sword sect's main hall. Below Han Qingzi was a group of elders. Above Han Qingzi were 5 other thrones. Except for the 5th one, which was empty, the other 4 thrones were occupied by 4 elders. The old man, sitting on the 4th throne, had a furious look on his face. Sect Master, what do you think of this matter? The 4th Supreme Elder looked at Han Qingzi. 4th Great Ancestor, the 5th Great Ancestor's cultivation is one of the best in our Black Sword sect. How could a small country like the Tianyuan Kingdom kill the 5th Great Ancestor? This doesn't make sense. Han Qingzi stood up and looked at the 4 elders. You mean that there are other forces behind this? The 3rd Supreme Elder asked with a frown. I think so. Han Qingzi nodded. Then who do you think is behind all this? The 2nd Supreme Elder asked. I still have to investigate this. I don't know. Han Qingzi shook his head. No matter who is behind this, the Tianyuan Kingdom deserves to die. They can't be forgiven. The 4th Supreme Elder snorted. Then what do you mean? Han Qingzi looked at the 4 Supreme Elders and asked respectfully. First Supreme Elder, you decide. The Tianyuan Kingdom can't be left alive. That's right, First Supreme Elder. If we let it go so easily, Wouldn't it mean that our Black Sword sect is too easy to bully? First Supreme Elder, we must destroy the Tianyuan kingdom's face. After all, the fifth Supreme Elder is great ancestor's face. First Supreme Elder. When the Supreme Elders heard Han Qingzi's question, they all looked at the first Supreme Elder's face. The first Supreme Elders was the Black Sword sect. S was the strongest Black Sword sects first. Moreover, the first Supreme Elder was the strongest cultivator in the Black Sword sect. It was said that the first Supreme Elder was a level 10 Atman body cultivator. He was only one step away from entering the spirit martial realm. At this moment, the first Supreme Elder's eyes were closed, and he didn't say anything. Everyone's gaze fell on the first Supreme Elder. Time ticked by as the other three Supreme Elders watched the first Supreme Elder anxiously. Kill! After a moment, the first Supreme Elder suddenly opened his eyes, revealing a strong killing intent. Han Qingzi, did you hear that? Get ready to destroy the Tianyuan kingdom. I want the Tianyuan kingdom to be bathed in blood. Not a single living thing can be left alive. Seeing that the first Supreme Elder had agreed, the fourth Supreme Elder hurriedly ordered, "As you command." Seeing that the first Supreme Elder agreed, Han Qingzi also hurriedly agreed. Bang! At this moment, an explosion sounded. The entire Black Sword sect started to tremble. What's going on? Strange. Where did such a big commotion come from? The Black Sword sect is protected by a formation. Why is it shaking? Could it be that someone is attacking our Black Sword sect? After a huge explosion, everyone in the hall felt the ground of the hall tremble violently. Everyone in the hall immediately panicked. Everyone quiet down. I'll go out and see what's going on. The fourth Supreme Elder roared and left the hall. Seeing the fourth Supreme Elder leave, everyone in the hall looked at the first Supreme Elder, who didn't move at all. They all quieted down. Your Majesty, there's someone over there. His aura is even stronger than mine. At this moment, there was a demonic crystal cannon at the foot of the Black Sword sect. The two people standing behind the demonic crystal cannon were Yi Hao and Yin Liang. At this moment, Yi Hao was loading the demonic crystal cannon with demonic crystals. Yin Liang, who was beside him, felt the fourth Supreme Elder's aura and hurriedly said, "Only one big fish came. Looks like this cannon is a bit of loss." Hearing Yin Liang's words, Yi Hao's tone was somewhat regretful. Everyone says that your Majesty has a divine cannon. This is really an eye-opener for me. Yin Liang looked at the demonic crystal cannon in front of him in shock. Just now, he had seen with his own eyes that Yi Hao had taken out the demonic crystal cannon and blasted the Black Sword sect's mountain gate into pieces. One had to know that the Black Sword sect's mountain gate was naturally not an ordinary mountain gate. There was a powerful array formation engraved on it. An array formation that the Black Sword sect used on their mountain gate naturally wouldn't be too weak. However, under the demonic crystal cannon's attack, the array formation had actually been smashed into pieces. Where did these two dogs come from? How dare they be so impudent in the Black Sword sect? Are they tired of living? The fourth Supreme Elder ran towards the mountain gate as soon as he left the hall. When he saw the countless dead Black Sword sect disciples and the smashed mountain gate, he was instantly enraged. He couldn't help but roar. What the hell is that? The fourth Supreme Elder realized that Yi Hao hadn't said anything. Instead, he had moved the demonic crystal cannon and aimed it directly at him. The fourth Supreme Elder's face was full of disdain when he saw the pitch-black hole aimed at him. Bang! The fourth Supreme Elder stood there stupidly, not moving at all. Yi Hao naturally wouldn't let go of such a good opportunity. He immediately fired the cannon. All the spirit stones converged into a powerful wave of energy that blasted towards the fourth Supreme Elder. What the hell is this? The fourth Supreme Elder's eyes narrowed as he saw the light spot that was getting bigger and bigger. Although he wasn't sure what it was, he could sense a trace of danger from it. Great! However, the fourth Supreme Elder was clearly still very confident in his own strength. Chapter 1040. The Supreme Fourth Elder did the same thing as Hong Wu-Dao. He raised his weapon and slashed at the light spot. The result was obvious. The martial skill that the utmost supreme Fourth Elder had just used was instantly devoured by the light. Fourth Supreme Elder's expression changed. He didn't think that the power of the light would be stronger than he had imagined. Before he could retreat, the saber in his hand turned into nothingness. No! At that moment, the utmost Fourth Elder was completely flustered. He had finally sensed a dangerous aura from the light. But it was too late for him to escape. The light spot swallowed him whole. Gulp! Yin Liang looked at this scene and swallowed his saliva subconsciously. He heard that Yi Hao killed Hong Wu-Dao with the demonic crystal cannon, and that Hong Wu-Dao was a rank 8 Atman body cultivator. However, as the saying goes, seeing is believing. Now, he was witnessing an Atman body level cultivator being completely helpless under the attack of the demon crystal cannon. Ding dong, congratulations to host for killing a rank 8 Atman body cultivator. Ding dong, congratulations to host for obtaining 800,000 experience points. Ding dong, congratulations to host for obtaining 3 Atman body leveling pills. Yin Liang, take these 3 pills first. Yi Hao handed the 3 level-up pills he had just obtained to Yin Liang. Seeing the 3 leveling pills in Yi Hao's hand, Yin Liang's eyes lit up. But he was also curious. Why didn't Yi Hao give him all the leveling pills from the start? Why did he wait until now? Yi Hao could naturally tell that Yin Liang was puzzled. However, he could not possibly say that he had obtained these elixirs from killing people. This was his absolute secret. No matter how loyal Yi Hao was to him, he wouldn't reveal it. But Yi Hao had no choice but to give Yin Liang the pills. Because Yi Hao was worried that the Black Sword sect had an Atman body cultivator. If the Black Sword sect really had an Atman body cultivator, then his demonic crystal cannon would be useless. Although according to his investigation, the Black Sword sect did not have any chi practitioners that had surpassed the level of Atman body, it was better to be safe than sorry. Hurry up and consume it. We might have to face even more experts later. Yi Hao didn't bother explaining to Yin Liang and instructed him directly. Yes. Seeing that Yi Hao didn't explain, Yin Liang didn't dare to ask further. He quickly consumed the pill. What's going on? There's another explosion. Just what is it that can erupt with such power? The third highest elder felt the ground beneath his feet tremble once more, and a grave expression appeared on his face. First Supreme Elder, could something have happened to Fourth Elder? The second Supreme Elder was worried about the Fourth Supreme Elder's safety. He couldn't help but look at the First Supreme Elder. As for the group of elders, their faces were filled with panic. Clearly, this huge explosive force caused a trace of panic to appear in their hearts. Han Qingzi's face was also filled with anxiety. After all, they were in the hall. They did not know what was happening outside the hall. As the sect leader of the Black Sword sect, it would be strange if he wasn't anxious. Let's go out and take a look. The First Supreme Elder stood up from his seat. Boom! At this moment, another explosion rang out. Oh no, the sound seems to be coming from above us. An elder suddenly raised his head to look at the sky and shouted loudly. Hearing this elder's words, countless people also raised their heads to look. They could also feel a powerful force descending from the sky. Oh no, run! Just as everyone was still puzzled, the First Supreme Elder's reaction was the fastest. The First Supreme Elder immediately shouted and ran out of the hall. Seeing the First Supreme Elder's actions, no one dared to delay. One by one, they all followed behind the First Supreme Elder, wanting to escape the hall. However, no matter how fast they were, how could they be faster than the speed of the demonic crystal cannon? The light spot emitted a powerful force that destroyed the entire hall. What a powerful force! What is this? I feel like I'm going to die. Help, I don't want to die yet. Just as everyone cried out in alarm, the entire hall turned into nothingness. The First Supreme Elder looked at the hall that had turned into ruins behind him. His face was gloomy, and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. Who is it that attacked my Black Sword sect? This force is simply too strong, but it doesn't seem like it was done by a spiritualist. Following First Supreme Elder to escape, other than Second Supreme Elder and Third Supreme Elder, there was only Han Qingzi. The rest of the elders were all buried in the main hall. Not a single one of them came out alive. At this moment, other than Han Xingzi, who was scared silly, the two supreme elders were also terrified. Even now, they still had lingering fears because just now, if the first supreme elder hadn't reminded them in time, they would have been able to escape. They had enough time to react and escape. Otherwise, they would probably have died in the main hall by now. It would be a fool's dream to think that they could escape from here. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for killing a Third Order Demon Emperor. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 30,000 experience points. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 2 Demon Emperor leveling pills. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for killing a 7th Order Demon Emperor. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 70,000 experience points. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 5 Demon Emperor leveling pills. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for killing a 5th Order Demon Emperor. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 50,000 experience points. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 3 Demon Emperor leveling pills. For a moment, Yihao could hear the notifications in his head ringing nonstop. I didn't expect to hit it, and the harvest is so big. Yihao heard the system prompt in his mind and couldn't help but exclaim in his heart. Because he took Yin Liang to the Black Sword sect, he saw that the Black Sword sect was full of buildings. For a while, he didn't know what to do, so he also glanced around and saw the most luxurious sect master's hall. Most importantly, the sect master's hall was still within the attack range of the magic crystal cannon. So he didn't think about it and directly fired the cannon at the sect master's hall. He didn't expect that there would be so many people in the sect master's hall. He just wanted to blow up the Black Sword sect's sect master's hall first and give the Black Sword sect's experts a show of strength. He didn't expect that there would be an unexpected harvest. He actually killed so many demon emperors with one shot. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for killing a Third Order Demon Emperor. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 30,000 experience points. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 3 Demon Emperor leveling pills. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for killing a First Order Demon Emperor. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 10,000 experience points. Chapter 1041. There seems to be some fish that escaped the net. When Yihao saw the first Supreme Elder, Han Qingzi, and the others, he understood that they were probably the experts of the Vast Earth sect. Yihao wasn't surprised to see them escape. He immediately started loading the demonic crystal cannon with spirit stones. Who are you people? My Black Sword sect has no enmity with you. Why are you so ruthless? The first Supreme Elder glared at Yihao. His eyes looked like they were about to spit fire. The first Supreme Elder looked at the hall behind him and the destroyed Black Sword sect. He felt like his heart was bleeding. Apart from the first Supreme Elder, the others were also in a state of shock. However, their eyes were also spitting fire. If looks could kill, Yihao and Yin Liang would have died many times over. I'm the Emperor of the Tianyuan Kingdom. Your Black Sword sect has repeatedly caused trouble for me. How can you say that we have no enmity with each other? Yihao looked at the first Supreme Elder and spoke without fear of the anger in his eyes. What did you say? You are the new Emperor of the Tianyuan Kingdom? That Yihao. Hearing Yihao's words, the first Supreme Elder was shocked. He clearly hadn't expected Yihao to appear here. Intolerable bullying. This is simply intolerable bullying. This is unforgivable. That's right. This bastard killed the people of our Black Sword sect. We haven't even caused trouble for him, yet he actually killed his way to our Black Sword sect. This brat simply doesn't put our Black Sword sect in his eyes. After learning of Yihao's identity, the Black Sword sect's Grand Supreme Elders were furious. So that's how it is. I want to know what you used to cause such damage to our Black Sword sect. The first Supreme Elder asked as he looked at Yihao. Since you are so curious, I will tell you. Actually, when the Emperor was talking to the first Supreme Elder, while speaking to the first Supreme Elder, Yihao had already taken out his demonic crystal cannon and aimed it at the first Supreme Elder. As soon as Xia Haoshuan finished speaking, He fired at the first Supreme Elder and the others. Bang! All of the spirit stones instantly converged into a powerful force that surged towards the first Supreme Elder and the others. What the hell is this? The explosion just now sounded similar to this. The second Supreme Elder and the third Supreme Elder looked at the spot of light that was shooting towards them with puzzlement on their faces. They stood on the spot and stared blankly at the spot of light. Could it be that this damn thing is releasing such a huge amount of power? Upon seeing the light spots flying over, the first Supreme Elder's gaze landed on the magical crystal cannon. Obviously, the first Supreme Elder had never seen the magical crystal cannon before, so he didn't believe that the pitch-black tube could create such a powerful force. But looking at the ruined palace behind him, there were still so many demon emperors who hadn't come out. Even the fourth Supreme Elder. There was no sign of them. Unsurprisingly, these people had been killed by the magic crystal cannons. Therefore, the first Supreme Elder did not doubt the power of the magic crystal cannon at all. All of you back off. Seeing that the light spot was about to land, the first Supreme Elder roared. Be careful, first Supreme Elder. Hearing the first Supreme Elder's words, the rest of the people hurriedly retreated. Break for me. Unexpectedly, the first Supreme Elder knew the power of the magic crystal cannon and counterattacked instead of retreating. The first Supreme Elder held a black saber in his hand and directly slashed at the light spot. Bang! An explosion resounded. The scene of the Supreme First Elder flying back, as Yin Liang expected, did not appear. How is this possible? Yin Liang looked at the first Supreme Elder who was standing on the spot in a sorry state, but his life was not in danger. He was shocked. Ha ha! Long live the first Supreme Elder. The first Supreme Elder is valiant. First Supreme Elder, you're really amazing. At this moment, many disciples and elders of the Black Sword sect who had yet to hear about the deaths appeared out of nowhere. But everyone saw that the powerful magical crystal cannon was actually unable to cause any harm to the first Supreme Elder. Everyone was in an uproar. It's really powerful. Feeling the power of the light spot, the first Supreme Elder could not help but say. Fortunately, his true strength had reached the second rank of the spiritual martial realm. Otherwise, he would have definitely died under the magical crystal cannon, because from the previous attack, he had already judged the power of the magical crystal cannon. In his opinion, the magical crystal cannon's greatest power could only cause harm to Atman body realm experts. It would be very difficult to cause harm to spiritual martial realm experts like them. Therefore, the first Supreme Elder was confident in his heart, so he had nothing to fear. Dog, although your damn thing is powerful, it can't cause any harm to me. If you kneel down and beg for mercy, maybe I can leave your corpse intact. At this moment, the first Supreme Elder's body was filled with murderous intent as he glared at Yi Hao. Actually, in his eyes, Yi Hao was already a dead man. After all, Yi Hao's powerful magical crystal cannon was unable to cause any harm to him. And Yi Hao did not have the magical crystal cannon. He could see that Yin Liang and Yi Hao's cultivation levels were even lower and they were no match for him. Therefore, he wanted to properly humiliate Yi Hao. He wanted to let Yi Hao know how high the heavens were and how deep the earth was. First Supreme Elder, kill this bastard and avenge our men. That's right, First Supreme Elder, we can't let that dog off so easily. Quickly kill that dog. You must dismember that dog's body into 10,000 pieces. Since he dares to attack our Black Sword sect, we must let him know. How do you spell the word regret? First Supreme Elder, killing this dog is too easy for him. We should capture him and destroy the Tianyuan kingdom. Let him see with his own eyes, and let him suffer a fate worse than death. At this moment, the Black Sword sect members were filled with righteous indignation. Dog, do you see that? It's impossible for you to leave today. You'd better take the initiative to kneel down and repent for your crimes. The first Supreme Elder looked at Yi Hao with a cold gaze. Ha ha ha. Hearing the first Supreme Elder's words, Yi Hao couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? What surprised the first Supreme Elder was that he didn't see the slightest trace of fear on Yihao's face. Moreover, Yihao was actually able to laugh. This made the first Supreme Elder frown. Actually, Yihao hadn't expected that he would actually make the right bet. He had originally been, just in case, worried that the Black Sword sect would have a spiritual martial realm expert. He hadn't expected that the Black Sword sect would actually have a spiritual martial realm expert. Yihao secretly rejoiced that he had brought Yin Liang over. This was because he still had a trump card that could be used against the first Supreme Elder. And Yin Liang was the key to this trump card. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.